Hello everyone and welcome to get the graphics up correctly there, for the This Is Our Year Texas 200 for the A-Squared Midwest Barbecue, ARCS Midwest Barbecue A-Squared Cup Series. I am Kevin Young in the booth, always here on a great Sunday evening, and I'm glad you're here as well to join us for another week of A-Squared competition. Right now, we're in the heartland of Texas right now at Texas Motor Speedway as we watch currently Josh Gaiman. He's currently on a flying lap right now. We'll let him try to finish his lap here, coming around to finish lap number 1. He'll have 2 laps to take an attempt at here as we're in the middle of qualifying. We do have some new fill-in drivers and sub-rolls, and all that we will go over in just a few seconds' time. But with the remaining clock going here, which seems to be a tad broken on the graphic, but just under 5 minutes to go here now, about 4:20 and some change. We'll see what these drivers can do. Here's Game's first lap, put him 26th. He's going to have to go a little bit faster here if he wants to try to set a good time here. See, Feather Place jumps up the P16 on the little timing and scoring board. Across the line, the 61 goes. And it's going to be good enough for P3 for the Gear Cats machine. So slides car in P3 quite nicely. That will leave us with a few other drivers to go, including 2 drivers in fill-in roles. You'll see the 04 machine here, usually piloted by Emma Kruger. Tonight, it is piloted by Riley Gomes. We'll be filing in a nice little Nickelodeon Double Dare-inspired scheme. And we'll see what they can do. As Feather Place on the second lap, by the way, improved to P6. Obviously, Emma Kruger was last week's winner. Spoilers for that if you did not tune in the last week's broadcast. It was a great showing indeed. It's a great finish to watch, but Emma Kruger ended up getting her first win in the A-Square competition, but sadly cannot be here tonight. But at the very least, looking good to make the playoffs with her performance. And if we do get a new winner, don't get a new winner tonight, every driver that has a win so far this season is locked into the playoffs. So we'll have to keep an eye on those narratives as we go along. As you see a bunch of fill-in drivers taking the top of the stops here, we'll see what Gomes can do on lap number 1. Looks like it was only good enough for P28, so the second lap is going to have to be the money lap for the Double Dare machine. As he's one of the last few drivers really put down a time here. Some other notables yet have put down a time. Edward Marshall yet going to finish up his first lap in a second here. He, along with Bren Roberts, one of the last few to go here. So it's all important to put down a good time here. Coming off of lap number 2, what will the Super Sub do across the line? Jump up only to P20, just slots himself right in. We'll bump Dale Markowski out. So now we'll see Edward Marshall finish up his second lap in the 28 Havley machine, also filling in for Davey Hawk. So fill-ins galore. We'll go all over that in just a few minutes' time. Oh, hits the wall off of 2. A handful of drivers have done this during qualifying. That will invalidate lap 2, so he will stay at P29, and we'll cut to Bren Roberts in the 84 machine. He will be the last driver here to set a time. It's going to be put up or shut up for the 84 machine right now. We'll have 2 attempts at this. This is attempt number 1. He's going to have to try to beat Zach Millett's time. And the number 6 filling in for the 65 of Dustin Painter. He's going to have to beat a 29.29 if he wants to take pole position away and keep the pole for the series regulars. First lap across the book should be a bit, maybe of a banker lap here. Only good enough for P29. Second lap has been the flyer for everyone, so this is the put up or shut up lap. Looking good all right at the moment here. Should get low. An air wash is going to be a bit of a factor here tonight. But qualifying got clean track. Doesn't scrape the wall out of 4. We'll see what he does across the line for the 84. And it's going to get enough for P20, so he'll bump Riley Gomes out. And that will be Bren Roberts' time. And with just a little bit, a minute 30 to go here, we'll get that graphic fixed up as soon as we can here. But with a minute and some change to go here, we'll see if actually flipping to the ticker will help. There we go. You'll see about a minute and 10 to go here. Qualifying has officially concluded. Well, not concluded yet, but every driver has put down a time. And that will mean Zach Millett will be the fastest person on circuit, and he will take pole position. Bren Roberts obviously using this time to take a little bit of qualifying practice here. So we'll see what he can do as he puts down times here. And he'll come on in with just a little change to go. So we're going to have a pretty kind of a boring end to qualifying here. No driver taking a last-ditch Hail Mary attempt here, with all drivers electing to come on in. It's going to be that. Looking at some of the times here, obviously looking at some of the notes worth of pointing. Obviously, Zach Millett went the fastest, but more importantly, Brandon Proudfoot actually weirdly had the fastest Sector 2 out of all the drivers in the field. So even though he will be starting P4, he ended up having a slightly shorter lap time, as looks like that will actually do it for qualifying here, as it looks like, yep, that will end qualifying. So we will get ready for the 5 minutes warm-up here. Hopefully not. We have to do a quick graphics change. Yes. All right, so we'll take a quick check to reload the graphics here, make sure everything gets reloaded up here nicely. So it looks like it has crashed tremendously here. So just give us a second here. We will get this all underway. We'll get the show back on the road in just a second here. There we go. All nice and refreshed. Good to go here. So thank you for the quick little pause of the action there. And we'll quickly go over the recap of what's happened so far in A Squared competition news. We have a little bit over 3 and some change to go here during qualifying. So, as we move forward here up through the information worth noting here at the very least, quickly go over the standings here right now, just going through all the information. Currently in the way, obviously, with Emma Kruger's win last week at Sonoma, she will basically put herself in a spot where she's pretty much almost guaranteed to make the playoffs. That will happen in 14 weeks' time. We'll join Jeremy Breo, Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, and John Hagen as drivers locked into the playoffs. Looking at the bubble right now at the moment, Michael Cheeseburger-Lawrence, teammates to Gear Cats Racing at the moment, currently is one of the cars in question. You can see the car right there stopped on the circuit. But as we go through the point here as well, Michael Lawrence currently the bubble driver with Jonathan Adams 2 points back. Josh Gaiman, who's currently starting 4th this race, 7 points back, along with Ryan Pinnell. And just above the line, Seth Wansing 6 points to the good. David Wright's 9 points to the good. And Ben Roberts is 10 to the good. Speaking of, this is the final race for the Bracket Challenges set. The Bracket Challenge will start at Talladega in 2 weeks' time. So obviously we are off for Easter weekend. When Talladega starts at that race, the Bracket Challenge will start, and drivers will be seated based on their current standings, and will basically be similar to a tournament where the 2 drivers will be seated off, and whoever finishes the higher out of the 2 drivers will advance to the next round, and that will go for the next 4 weeks, and will end at, I'm going to check that right now to make sure I got the track right, New Hampshire, where the winner will probably get a bonus, at least at the very least. So we'll have to keep an eye on those narratives as we go along. Looking at the Rookie of the Year standings as well. John Hagen leads over 13 points over Lilac Zier, 19 over Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, and 21 over Kenneth Chaney, as Hagen's one of the only drivers with 2 wins. And only driver with a win, a rookie that, actually, Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp has a win too, but the only rookie with 2 wins this season. Lastly, we'll go over the quick sub-in fill-in rolls right now. We do have a few drivers that are in doing super sub duty here today. See if we can find him out on the track right at the moment. First of all, we got Cody Pinnell, as we just saw him set a time. There he is right there in the 12 machine, subbing in for Ryan Pinnell. This is fill and roll here. Roger Ears Pierce, who's currently right now coming down the pit lane, filling in for the number 9, Seth Wansing, who is not here tonight and probably hemorrhage some points before the playoff challenge starts, so we'll have to see how the seeding plays. Moving down the field, our current pole sitter, Zach Millett, filling in for Dustin Painter in the 65 Bucky's machine. Doing a good ride right now. Edward Marshall, remember that name if you are an A Squared Cup Series regular here. If you end up, let's see if we can find him on the track here in a second here, but Edward Marshall obviously ran last season for Line Power, is now in a part-time role, and he is, at the moment, filling in. There he is right there, coming out of the pit lane, filling in for Davey Hawk. And lastly, we saw during qualifying, Riley Gomes is filling in for Emma Kruger in the 04 machine. As you see right there, he's currently in his pit stall as he's waiting out the clock here warm-up. So that is the fastest 5 minutes in virtual motorsports, and we are ready to go here in warm-up as we are going to get ready for well over 134 laps here at Texas. And that will now officially conclude warm-up. Top the times, Zach Millett takes off where he led off in pole position and will be the fastest in warm-up. All right, as now we get ready for the race. You can see right here as well. Let's quickly get the things updated here. We will get ready for show how the grid will line off here. Leading the way, it is, as we can actually see, I need to put that to the right spot. There we go. Zach Millett and Roger Pierce. You'll see the 65 Bucks machine and the 9 Roger Pierce, both in fill-in rolls, will lock up row number 1. Moving further down, we got Josh Gaiman and Brandon Proudfoot in row 2. Daniel Michelle and Brandon Featherplace in row number 3. John Hagan and Pacey Wygant in row 4. Kevin Feemster and Austin Mongold in row 5. Tom Sears and Jeremy Breo in row number 6. Move a little bit further down the field. You got Jonathan Adams and James Kerr in row 7. Josh Battles and Ryan Gomes in row 8. David Wright and Cody Pinnell in row 9. And Michael Joy and Brent Roberts round out the first 10 rows. Next up, we got Riley Gomes and Dale Markowski in row 11. Stefan Oberstadt and Ross Baxter in row 12. Patrick Oberstadt and Donald Ray in row 13. Tristan Catania and Mark DeLayla in row 14. Richie Catania and Edward Marshall in row 15. Lilac Zier and Lily Sharp in row 16. And Tommy Withers and Michael Lawrence will round out the last row, and they will make up row number 17 here tonight. And that is how the field will line off here. As you can see, we get ready here right now. We're going to get an extra lap of pacing here. I actually will put this one on right now as we are going to get ready to start this show. So welcome to Texas. It's going to be a hoot and hattie. They say everything is bigger in Texas, including the racing. So we'll see how this all ends up playing out here. So it's calm for the storm here. You get one extra lap of the set here. Good chance to kind of practice up. Take a minute, take a breather, kind of set the nerves here just a little bit more. Unlike last week where we're lefting and righting, now we're only taking left turns here, and the driver's going to have to kind of get back in a groove. Last week was a little caution affair, but now kind of back at the ovals where control can be a little bit more strong on the cautions, and it's a little bit harder for a single car incident to occur. Could be a bit of a situation to play out here. So as we get one to go here, this time by, we're going to get the green lights going, and we're ready to play off. One more narrative to kind of keep an eye on as well here. This is a good chance for some of these drivers here, like I said, in substitute roles. Drivers like just kind of go off the front row, like we said. Two drivers, Zach Millett and Roger Pierce here. Both drivers can kind of get strong performances, maybe even get a win. It may be an opportunity, because if they get a win, may open some doors for a team that may be looking for a driver to say, all right, we'll take you and we'll put you onto the seat and we'll get you a chance to compete for a championship. So wins open doors for full-time employment. And we'll see how it all plays out here. So we get ready to start here. And take shape. So his pace car is going to take the lonesome trip down pit lane here. Is going to be on the green flag start here. Pace car is off. Green flag is out, and away we go for This Is Our Year Texas 200. Well, at Texas. He's come off a 4 here. Lap 1 is going to be in the books here, and it's going to be the 65 machine of Zach Millett leading the way. You can see already a little bit further on in the back there. They're getting pretty racy. We'll go to a wide shot just to show it. You can see right there, battle for 5th is John Hagan and Pacey Wygant. They've had some scraps in the HTL Truck Series before. Now they're having scraps here tonight, battling for a top 5 spot. Josh Gaiman's going the wrong way, quickly down 4 spots. One of the biggest losers off the restart, but sometimes that is the I.O. Josh Gaiman. Likes to play a bit of possum and strike when the iron is hot. As you can see right there, Proudfoot will hold off, and now Gaiman, hearing a bit of my words, on the attack, ready to right some wrongs here. But further back, you can also see Tom Sears. We'll cut away from, actually, we'll play this battle here. You can also see Tom Sears in the back as well, having a bit of a battle here as well. Just into the top 10 with Jeremy Breo. Sears will end up holding back the P10. You can see they're getting pretty racy. This track can be a bit of a hard track to pass. It's all about positioning and lineage. And you want to make sure you get yourself in a good spot early on these resets before the field kind of gets spaced out. Ooh, a nice wide shot. You can see right there, battle for the lead as the 9 of Roger Pierce, because I don't see that name too often driving a 9, is going to try to make a move on the 65 machine of Zach Millett. Proudfoot right there in 3rd, was the winner of the last race we had at Texas last season in the fall. So currently trying to not defend, we only go here once, trying to defend his win here. Already a little bit of contact there. The 9 gets loose, keeps it safe though. Cars will have to take evasive action, but not going to be too fair with Zach Millett. He's going to fall down the order here just inside the top 10. Going to try to hang on here, but luckily, at the very least, no damage, did not come back to the track, so he'll have to get regrouped. But at the very least though, it could have been a lot worse. That's going to get a little racy back up front here. You can see right there, John Hagan trying to get a move on Feather Place for 4th. Hagan can take the low side here. It's going to have a good run and an opportunity. A chance here will clear. So put Hagan up the 4th, Feather Place down the 5th. So the 2-time winner, maybe a bit of a steal in the 3rd round. Is actually 2nd round, I should say, looking to try to make a statement of why it should have been a 1st-round draft pick. But further back, you can see just inside the top 10, Feather Place battling out here. You can see 2-2. You can see there's Pierce right there. Pierce. Anyway, battling Tom Sears just for the top 10, and Breo and Feemster fighting here for 8th and 9th, respectively. Feemster have a bit of a rocky start to the season, at the very least. Not how he's wanted to start the season, but you're always good as your previous race, and right now, if he can set himself up to a good spot, he can maybe pull himself out and give himself a good point. And actually, that's a bit of an insult to Feemster. Feemster's currently sitting 10th in the standings, so he's had a sneaky season. Not really a bad part of the season. He's actually been pretty good out of the gate, just quietly racking up points, getting his car in the top 10s, and putting himself a point out there. So, a bit of a misspeak by me, and right now he'll hold off the charge for the one-time series champion, Jeremy Breo. So we'll go wide shot here just to show you that it's pretty much single file for the first 10 to 11 spots here. So picking your spot, minimizing damage and mistakes, and just trying to strike when the iron gets hot. Stages are, just in case for the viewer at home, we're in the record. It is lap 25 and lap 70 are the stage 1 and stage 2 breaks in regard. So stage 1 is quite quick here. Can sneak up on you in a flash if you're not careful, as you can see the battle raging on right here still for 10th. But you can see in this wide shot a bit of a separation from Kerr to Battles, about 1 second and a half. So a little bit of separation there, hoping to try to get that iron back up. You can see right there, Sears was able to get around Breo. Now Sears going to try to capitalize here and get around Breo, but can't get it done. Now Jonathan Adams ready to crash the party. Driver currently sitting outside looking in the playoff hunt. Needs to keep the momentum going here. He wants to get a little squirrely go off exit, and that's going to leave him vulnerable, not get the pass done. He'll have to tuck back in line for the B-Tron car. So Tom Sears in a B-Tron sandwich right there at the moment. We'll cut a little bit further back here. We'll let this battle rage on here for a second here, but we're going to go a little bit further back in the pack there. You can see right there, Bren Roberts, Mike LaJoy. It's pretty racy back here. As you see the separation happen, and actually we'll have to hold that thought. Battle for the lead here. Just saw it pop up on the timing mini-map here. Proudfoot's timed the corner well here, and now he's trying to get a move on Zach Millett. Millett has led almost every lap this race so far, and is currently sitting in the lead as Proudfoot going to try to go low side. Wygant's there, and Hagan. This has been a bit of a clutch up here. You see how it plays. Ooh, look how close Hagan got the Wygant there. The only downside is going side by side like this can hurt your tires on the long run, but with being such a short run here to the flag, only 25 laps for stage 1 ends, you can burn it yourself a little bit more and not feel the effects of it. So right there, battle is mute right there, but you can see Gaiman. He's getting a chance here to get a run on Feather Place. Nice line power car at the moment. Gonna fall a spot back, and now gonna be under pressure from Daniel Michel, who was looking good to win Sonoma last week. Had a bit of a mistake there, couldn't get it done. He's currently sitting 7th, but right there for 2nd. Hagen and Proudfoot, they end up touching just a little bit there. They keep it pointed all in the right direction, but definitely, you know, Hagen's an aggressive driver, willing to get the spot if he needs it to get the run. Knowing that it's important to get spots early here, is not going to allow that opportunity to waste away here, as you can see Gaiman trying to make a move on Pacey Wygent. Wygent will end up holding station. Now Featherplay is going to have a chance to counteract Gaiman. Side by side. Right there, battle for 2nd as well. Again, it's kind of, I always say this saying, I've said it throughout many times in my commentary career, it's next person up in these situations where if you don't make a move and you don't make the opportunity work, you're like, the driver behind's like, all right, you can't get it done? Well, I'm next up. I'm going to make a move on you to get an opportunity to make a move on Millet. And right now, Millet is right now pulling about a half a second gap. This driver's going to have to kind of sell this out quickly if they want to have a chance. Sell up, and you can see also in the distance, just inside the last pots of the stage points, Beamster and Pierce. I'll actually take a wide shot just to show it. You can see right here, battle there and there. Actually, it's not even a good angle. We'll check there. You can see right there in the back there, Jonathan Adams has fallen a bit to the point where he's now just outside the top 10. But cars fighting hard here for spots and positions. Look how close you can put a paperclip between the two of them right now. Proudfoot can't really get the run off he needs. Hagen can't really get the run either to really clear. And you can see almost 3 wide in the back there. We'll cut away from the second to show Sears right now 3 wide with Breo and the 9 of Roger Pierce. Usually doesn't end well. They're holding it nicely. A little bit of a bobble there by Breo, but they keep it all pointing the right direction. Oh, Breo gets into Pierce. Still side by side for the top 3 here. Usually you don't see this happen often. And Pierce will slide behind Breo, so Sears, trying to be the aggressor, can't get the job done. Will end up not getting either spot here and have to tuck back in line. And we'll cut right back up to the battle for 2nd and 3rd. Proudfoot's held off the charge for now. Now Wygent kind of going to what I said earlier about next person up. Now Wygent says, all right, Hagen, you can't get the job done on Proudfoot. It's my turn to get the opportunity done on you. As it looks like Wygent will get clear and will slide himself in the 3rd for Carolina Beagle Racing. Ooh, Hagen got just a little squirrely there off corner entry at 2 there. It's going to cause him to lose a little bit of time here. Could leave an opportunity for Michel. Look at Gaiman, going to try to split the middle here. Not going to really get a fender in there. Maybe thinking better of it, knowing how his luck has been of late. Well, maybe it's for the best not to really put himself in a 3-wide spot this early. We know he's got a fast 61. Anyway, Zach Miller has pulled away about 8/10 away from Proudfoot and 2nd in this pack we're watching. So, a bit of a separation is beginning to form here. And you can see, oh, right in the back there, Ears is a little sideways. Off-corner entry of exit at 2 there. Don't know if he got much help there, but he doesn't end up looping it. And now he's going to fall into the problem of pack 2 here. It looks like he's relatively okay, but it's been a rough start for that 9 machine. So cut back up 2nd place here. It's still raging on a battle here. Next time by, we'll have 5 to go in the stage. So laps are beginning to tick by and tick by quickly. These drivers are fighting for the stage points they can get. At least with that mistake by the 9, has given at least some comfortable breathing room with Breo currently sitting at P10. As it looks comfortable, as long as he doesn't make mistakes, should be able to at least get a stage point, as long as things hold. But just look how close it's getting there between 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Wygent now up to 2nd, able to get around Proudfoot. Michel now going to try to follow suit here. Can't get fully clear yet, though, but on the low side in his Toyota for Tombstone. But looks like Proudfoot is going to... Actually, sorry, Line Power, my mistake. Michelle's with Line Power, Proudfoot's with Tombstone, and that is going to hold station. Proudfoot will clear the Line Power machine. And now the Gear Cats machine of gaming going to try to get around Michelle here, as we are now within 4 to go in the stage. Pit lane will close with 2 to go in the stage, so with being a short track, though, no driver will come down to take a service before the flag. So you're racing to the end here. Proudfoot holds on to third. Michelle on the outside of Gaiman will hold his line. Coming to 3 to go in the stage. Feather Place getting an all right run here, but nowhere really to take it. Adams has now decided to crash the party here and is ready to join the throwdown. A little bit of a bobble for the 22 there. It's going to open the door. Looks like Gaiman thinking about it, but not going to get done. He'll go to the high side. Hagen will jump low and will use the opportunity to get around Michelle. Side by side they are. Michelle coming up the road. They touch corner panel. It's going to allow Proudfoot to fit in, and it's not going to work. Big checkup here across the line. Feather Place around. Hagen cutting through the pit lane, and that will be a caution, and that will end the stage. Proudfoot just gets hit into. We have more Chaosity down there a little bit first, as you see, that looks like it's, seeing who exactly that was, Lily Peltier Sharp is one of the cars there that's parked low side there. See her right there with the big damage. So chaotic end the stage number 1 here. As you can see, the doubles here, the 18 with massive front end clip damage. I think the other car that piled in, I want to say it was Brendan Roberts, but no, you can see right there, there's the car in question. I think it's the 47. No, it's not the 47 Lawrence. It's the 4 of Austin Mongold in the Dr. Pepper machine. So we'll take a quick look at who finished where in the stage, and then we'll take a look exactly what happened. Millet, Wygett, Gaiman, Feather Place, Adams, Feemster, Braille, Kerr, Sears, Roberts will be your top 10. As you can see, a few drivers are going to have to come down pit lane and take service. And actually, could be a penalty from Mongold. He looks like he kind of passed the commitment line there, but looks like that thing is struggling to turn. As you can see, he's basically driving on 3 wheels at the moment. So we'll take a look here exactly at what happened here. See if it even picks up what happened. Right here is where we're going to go. So we're going to pop it right here. Looks like that graphic needs to be fixed too, but we'll see right here on the point. We'll take a wide shot here just to show what happens. Actually, we'll go find a good camera here. Chopper cam. That usually works out well. So we'll let it play out at half speed here. You can see side by side. And you see Hagen trips up just a bit here. Michelle, they're both fighting for the same real estate here. And they get into each other's kind of corner panel here. And usually we've seen that happen, but it usually straightens out. Michelle can't get off here to Hagen. Proudfoot's coming like bad you-know-what. Gets in front of it. He can't save it. And at this point, cars just start spinning around the surface here, just trying to take evasive action, try to make something occur here. And you can see Michelle goes down here. If I can find the cars in question, you can see cars battle out here. We'll play it back in Leaf Spy, and then we'll take another look at it. As you can see it play out in that regard. So we'll take another look here for the wild ride. We'll take it from the perspective of Proudfoot here, if I can find him on this point here. Just give me 1 second. A lot of cars in the name. There he is. So we'll let it play out here, and we'll take it from a nice TV1 cam here, just to show you what happened. You can see, again, we'll play it at 4 speed. Again, cars kind of play up here and just nowhere to go for Proudfoot as he gets kind of cut off here on the in-road. Then he comes up the surface trying to save it, Luckily, just barely gets into Adams there, crumples the corner panel, Jonathan Adams. Adams gets in the wall quite nice. Now we'll play at live speed again. We'll go from TV3 here just to show you the angle. And then right here, we'll pause. You can see right there, there's Tom Sears. There's Brendan Roberts. There's Mike LaJoy. We'll play it at full speed again. There's Roberts getting around, LaJoy going around. There's the 9 of there's Mongold. Nowhere to go. Hits it right into the 04 of Emma Crew was Riley. And then there's the 18 of Lil Peltier Sharp. Nowhere to go as well for that incident. So we'll take one more perspective of this as well. We'll pull up right here. Take it from this angle here, right where this is, but we'll ride on board here with the 4 of Austin Mongold real fast, and we'll let him take it a real-time shot of what exactly happens. So we'll play at live speed, and let what happens to the 4 here of Austin Mongold. nowhere to go, and right in them, and it just gets hooked and sideways. Fly and hit the inside of the wall. So back to live action. You can see right now, still caution number 1. That would have ended the stage. You can see right there, Zach Milt will come out ahead in the pit lane. Good, clean first stage there. Can't really complain anything until the finish there, but clean, hard racing. You like to see it. Hopefully we can have a good, clean stage 2 and 3. Maybe without the late second caution. But more importantly, we'll take a look at what happened on the pit lane entry and exit there. Zach Millett ended up taking the lead back there. Every driver, for the most part, took 4 tires and fuel under that service. Everyone came in on lap 25. A few cars came in 24, obviously for damage, like Sharp and Mongold. Had to come in early for service, but every car on the track came in for tires and fuel. So no driver taking an alternate strategy here. We'll get the 1 to go, presumably this time by. You can see right there a few extra cars coming down here. James Kerr pitting from just outside the top 10. He'll be coming in along with the 9 of Roger Ears-Pierce and the Tommy Withers as well in the 23. And Edward Marshall and the 29 of Daniel Michel. Looks like he had a little bit of damage. He had a normal stop here, but yeah, coming in as well. I'm trying to fix up a little bit of that crumpled up damage. He'll be in as well. So 1 to go here. Millett, Wygent make up row number 1. Gaiman, Feather Place, row 2. Braille, Proudfoot, row 3. Feemster, Roberts, row 4. Sears, and Patrick Overstat will be the first 5 rows here on this restart. Got some hungry cars looking to try to get some good spots here. Let's see how it all plays. More importantly, we'll do one quick check here if we can find him on this list here. John Hagan currently sitting back in 31st. He came out the pit lane here. He'll be coming from further back here along with a few other cars. Brandon Proudfoot was on the incident, currently lining off P6. And Michelle obviously came in as well. We'll be slotting in around P30. So that's how the cars will line up that were involved in the incident. We'll be slotting up here, and some of them are fast. They'll try to get through the field up quickly. Remember, stage 2 will end on lap 75, so well over a little under 50 laps here before we get the next stage break. Pace car going to pull on off. Green flag is out, and away we go. Oh, big spin up to the Ross there because Proudfoot was involved. And that is going to be a quick caution called here. You also see Mike LaJoy. We'll actually get a little closer here just to show you. You also see Mike LaJoy also involved here as well. And he's got a pretty bad torn up front end there. That thing is pretty much dragging the front end there. The thing can't even turn. You can see right there the right wheel basically not turning. So it's going to be a bit of a lengthy repair for that 29. Drivers are given one fast repair though. So at the very least, LaJoy can use that if he hasn't already burned it by accident or for whatever reason. Proudfoot looks relatively okay for the most part, though. So we'll take a look exactly what happened here. Take it at the point of the yellow flag here. You can already see a puff of smoke there, so it looks like we're going to have to wind just a bit here. You can already see what happened. It looks like it may have been Braille and Proudfoot, so it really happened even earlier than this. So we're on LaJoy. We'll pause here. We'll go back up for the field here. We'll find Proudfoot real fast. There he is. We'll go into a nice chopper camera here. If I can find it on the list. There it is. Nice chopper camera, and we'll play it at 4th speed and see what happens. You see Braille gets the opportunity, takes a run here. Let's probably give him enough space. Still clear, still clear. Ooh. Oh, Braille got on the curb there just a bit. Shot him up in the Proudfoot. And then you can see at this point, Proudfoot trying to save it. Feemster right there gets on the brakes. And then it looks like he's still trying to save it. Gets another touchdown by Braille. We'll play it at full speed now. And just sideways. And Michael Joy, nowhere to go. And ends up damaging the front end there for his troubles. So we'll take another look at it as well. So it's kind of a long incident there. We'll take another look here as well. We'll wind out again. We'll take it from 2 more angles here. We'll pause here. You can already see a good angle here, but we'll take it from the 74 Breo's perspective here. And we'll let it play out. Just a tap there, gets him sideways, and then just another little tap there. At that point, Breo gets around, but you can see LaJoy nowhere to go. We'll take one more look here as well. We'll go back one more time here. We'll take it from LaJoy's perspective. And we'll end up rewinding back here. You can already see the puff of smoke here. We'll actually go back just a bit here. Pause here, and we'll actually play at real speed here to show you what the 29 saw. His highest finish was 3rd in Las Vegas. Right there, first tap, second tap, up the road. Nowhere to go for LaJoy. It gives him a big old front end blister. He's going to have to end up fixing up quite nicely here. So back to live action, you see right there the 29 looking a lot better now after taking service under this caution to fix up his 29 machine. Presumably doesn't have a fast repair left though, so he could be in a bit of a trouble if another accident he is involved in. So up towards the front here, you can see, I believe, make sure the lights are on the pace car. We have one more lap here. They are not. So we'll have one extra lap here at pacing. So we'll take this opportunity while we are here under a little bit of a lull period here. Just like to say, first of all, thank you for those in chat at the moment. It looks like time of scoring's kind of got screwed up for a second here, so that will quickly fix itself in a second. There it goes. But anyway, let me finish my point here. Thank you for joining us here for the This Is Our Year Texas 200 on ABN2. I am Kevin Young, so thank you for joining us here on your Sunday evening or daytime or wherever you are in the continental United States or the world or wherever you are. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Hope this racing provides great action for you. And if you're in the chat right now watching this live, sound off in the chat of what driver you're rooting for right now to have a good race. You're already seeing in the chat right now one person rooting for Feather Place, who's currently sitting P number 3 in the 34. So sound off on who you're rooting for, and maybe, just maybe, it may motivate them to end up winning this race. So should get the one to go here on the pace car. Lights should, in theory, go out this time by. They should. They are. So it's going to be Millet and Game in row number 1. It's going to be Feather Place and Roberts, row number 2. It's going to be Sears and Breo, row 3. Oberstadt Gomes, row 4. Markowski Baxter, row 5. That will be the first 5 rows. So we'll see here again, Milt has been a strong force in that fill and roll in the 65. He's led almost every lap here tonight. I believe he's led every lap. If not, he may have led one. But got some strong challenges behind. Gaiman, Feather Place, Roberts, Breo, Sears, all strong cars. And we'll see what they can do here. Pace car going to take the lonesome trip down pit lane. It's going to be a Millet's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. That game and going to push Millet clear here. Going to try to make it a 2-horse race. They are a little bit stacky in the back there. We'll focus on this just for a second here, see if Gaiman can try to find a way around that 65, or maybe just trying to push clear. And again, make it a 2-horse race between the two of them. Settle out between themselves. Millet will lead this lap though, but Gaiman answering back, not allowing Millet to go far away. And look at Gaiman going to try to rip and ride it around the high side here. We're going to be side by side at the moment. Millet, though, going to hold station. Let's see if we can get the run here. High side has failed a little bit stronger than the low side, but obviously things can change quite quickly. Look at Gaiman, going to try to clear himself, and he will. So he will take the lead away from the dominant 65 car. and lap will be led by Josh Gaiman. And now maybe a bit of a situation where there's a vulnerability found is the word I'm looking for here. And now Feather Place and Breo looking to maybe try to capitalize on that 65, who's now kind of shown, hey, it's a bit of a weakness now. He is beatable. And we have a quick caution here. Looks like it may have been Edward Marshall. It's not him. I'm trying to see who exactly it may have been. Looks like James Kerr has a good amount of damage here. And I think it's Kevin Feemster's the other car involved. So that will be a caution called here. It looks like, yeah, Feemster was the one in the incident. So both cars look relatively okay with a little bit of damage. But we'll take a quick look here to see what happened. So Kevin Feemster right there on the high side. You can see the 48 and the 3 side by side with him on that outside. So we'll play it full speed here for a minute. Let it play out and see what happened. Oh, Catania went up the road a little bit. 48 into this 21. Odd kickback, though, for Feemster there. Almost makes me wonder if a car was maybe there or something. Just kind of spun aggressively there. Take another look at it again from the chopper. I just want to see it again. Right here, we'll play it at 4 of speed. Catania on the inside, the 5 on the low side here of Donald Ray. Just drifts up the road, and just gets right into the corner panel of the 21. Sends the 21 sideways. But then it spins awkward. Oh, the 18 is Sharp. No, Sharp goes low. Oh, no, Sharp does end up hitting the 21. It sends it the other direction and right into James Kerr, who's trying to go high to avoid this. And, well, nowhere to go for Kerr. He ends up just hitting the wall more, and he ends up hitting incident question. We'll take one more look at this as well, if we can get my replay board up here as well. And we'll take it from James Kerr's perspective real fast. We'll let him follow him as well. And we'll take it from a nice cockpit cameras. I love the cockpit. Shows you what the driver's seeing out the windshield here. So follow James Kerr here and see what he saw in this incident. Just up the road, Kerr trying to avoid it, and yeah, Kerr's just nowhere to go for him at that speed. Luckily, though, very minor damage, should be relatively okay to keep going. So back to live action, you can see there's Kevin Feemster just sitting on the pit lane right now at the moment. We'll cut back to the front of the pack here, and there's Josh Gaiman, took the lead away, has the lead here in lap 38, third caution of the evening. At least looking at some of the noteworthy things coming down under that caution, a few drivers did come in. Donald Ray, David Wright, Tristan Catania. Good chunk of cars involved in the incident elected to come in. But more importantly, under the previous caution in lap 30, a few drivers came in and topped off as well, including Pacey Wygant, Austin Mongold, obviously involved in the incident. John Hagan came in on lap 30 again. So some drivers getting off sequence here, trying different strategies to make something occur here. So we'll see how it all plays. Lights are out in pace car. Quick caution indeed here. It's going to be Gaiman and Millet, row 1. Feather Place and Breo, row 2. Roberts and Sears, row 3. Patrick Oberstadt and Dale Markowski, row 4. And Ryan Gomes and Riley Gomes, both Gomes, make up the next row here. Actually, it's Markowski and Gomes and Baxter and the other one. But still, they all make up the top 10 here. But now, new leader, new control car, new pacer. Let's see what Gaiman can do here. Green flag is out, and away we go. looking at the moment right there. Gaming gets a good launch. Millet holds off the charge for second. A little bit further back right there, you can see right there, almost 3 wide, as Wygent looking to take no prisoners here. He feels fast. Going to be between Battles and Ears. Or Pierce, I should say. Ears is the nickname. Just keep seeing it on my battle box here. And it looks like Pierce will hold on. And now it's Wygent and Battles side by side here. As they fight on here. So you just see we're cutting back here for a second, just because we saw it 3 wide. There's another almost 3 wide incident just further back. You can see right there, Proudfoot in the middle of the sticky situation. Looks like it'll end up not. You can just see, this is what I was talking about before we saw the end of the caution. Hagen, Wygent, Proudfoot, 3 strong cars at the end of stage 1. All now married in traffic, and not saying the rest of the field isn't strong. Along with even Pierce as well, Roger Pierce in the 9. All strong cars qualified well, now buried in traffic. Going to try to cut through the field as quick as they can in order to make evidence of time to try to make runs happen. And look at that, Hagen taking evasive action. Going to try to make it 3 wide again around the 71 machine. 0 on the high side there. Battle's going to kind of just be in the sucker hole here, just trying to hang on, not end up getting wrecked out. Hagen will end up being the big winner there, and Proudfoot just kind of following through like, you make the hole, I'll follow through. Make it happen. Look at Wygent trying to make it follow through as well. So first hole on reverse hole. Ryan Gomes up the road there, high on the circuit. They're getting pressure. We'll actually cut up just the road here as well. Markowski is getting a race here for 8th. Not missing anything in the top 6 spots here. It's pretty much single file. So nothing really to report up in the first 6 rows. You can see right there, Ears. Roger Pierce. Gotta stop calling him Ears. Just gotta call him Pierce. Pierce going to try to get around Dale Markowski here. Hagen going to try to follow suit around the low side of Pierce. And Gomes, Proudfoot, all fighting out nicely here. It looks like it's almost 3 wide in the back there again, as they're just getting pretty racy here. See right there, 81 of Hagen going to try to get around Markowski. Going to go low side here. Looks like both will get around successfully, so Markowski will now fall just to P10 as Hagen's up to 9th. Pierce is up to 8th. See how long. Look at that in the background right there. 3 wide between Mongold, Battles, and LaJoy. Remember, 2 of those 3 cars lost front clips early in this race. Both probably out of fast pair, so they got to be careful here. Don't end up being the big loser. Sharp as well. Battles get sideways in the wall hard. They're still pointed in the right direction, though. No caution has been called. Michael Joyce taking evasive action. You can see right there, trying to find a good shot here. Everyone's relatively okay. Obviously, big time lost for Josh Battles. You see him pretty slow as he hit the wall flush. Michael Joy as well had to take action through the grass. Similar to saw Hagen at the end of the stage 1. But both cars keep it pointing in the right direction, though. No caution will be called. And we'll stay green. Folks, actually, we'll go back up to the leader just to show you what's going on in the front half here. You see Josh Gaiman right there in P1. We'll take a nice wide shot to show you what's going on. There's Gaiman. There's Breo. And you can just see what I was talking about, how being a bit of a train up front right now. Millet's falling down to P4. Sears, Roberts there. And then you can see Roger Pierce, John Haig, and Patrick Oberstadt. You can just see now it's getting a little bit more stacked the further we go back. It looks like right now everyone's kind of found their groove here. You can see right there, Pacey Wygent, Ryan Gomes, and Austin Mongol, they're fighting. Lilac Zier making a move there on the fill-in drive of Cody Pinnell. Same spelling of the last name, different driver. Same paint scheme as well. As the 89 looking to get clear, and Zier will put herself up 13 and 12 of Cody Pinnell will fall down a spot here. And then you can see right there, David Shell. It's a strong car buried literally in traffic. You can see him just trying to pick lanes, trying to find spots and do something. But just right now, just nowhere to go. Just trying to find a hole or anything to get towards the front here as he's now sitting in 23rd. See if we can find something closer. It looks like Proudfoot and Markowski there. Doing all right battle here. Looks like, yep, it's going to be 14th and 15th here. Wygent right now at the moment. You can see right there. Fighty as well. And then you can see right there, speaking of Dave Michelle, they're fighting hard here as well. And see Michelle gets a little loose off corner entry. We'll keep it planted. We'll keep it side by side. Hawk going to try to cut low there. Can't get the job cleared. Well, Hawk actually will get his success cleared. Michelle can't get the map done. It's going to shoot up the race surface just a bit. And now Adams, another strong car, going to be side by side with Michelle. And you can just see off the road, we're going to cut up to the next pack here as Wygen and Gomes, Riley Gomes in the 04 Slime Nickelodeon machine, is currently got the leader. I guess you could say it's a double dare machine, but it's got other old 90s game show-esque shows on that sponsor. But more importantly, focus on the action on the race right now. You got the 4, the 12, and the 18. The 4, the 12, the 04, and the 18 all in a bit of a bubble here. It's a Gear Cats reunion, if you will. As you see, Sharp going to try to go around the high side of Cody Pinnell, going to barge her way through here. Still beside, oh, Gomes gets loose, and he's going to hit the wall. Everyone's going to avoid him here successfully. We're going to cut back up here. You can see more smoke. Looks like something's happened to Sharp as well. We'll find an angle here. We'll take a look here on replay once we get a live action in a second here, because it looks like something else happened just a further back here. So actually, we'll take this opportunity real fast just to rewind. So we're going to take a quick second here just to see what happened, because this looks a little bit like it's a two-prong incident. So we'll play it real fast. We're in live replay here. You can see the 04 gets loose. And they end up touching here. Oh, they get stuck together. Shoots the 18 the wall, and the 12, Cody Pinnell. Both will end up taking a lot of time off, so 3 drivers will end up losing time. You can see 18, heavy damage. Already burned a fast pair once in this race. We'll see if she can get it fixed up and back out. Be competitive. We'll cut back up to the lead here. We'll cut away from just outside the top 10 or in the top 10. And we'll go back to the lead as it's starting to get a little bit scrappy, if you will, as they're getting pretty close here towards the front. Gaiman now leads away. Millet, who has fallen back as low as 4th under the stage, is now back up to 2nd. Third place is 3rd, and now Breo's crashed the party for 4th. So they've gotten pretty racy. More importantly, as you look at the far shot there, there's Roger Pierce, there's John Hagen. Remember, they were about 3.5 seconds back when this last restart occurred, and now they've caught back up to the lead pack. And they're ready to join the fray and make this a race, at the very least. Right now, it actually just saw the lead change there as Milt gets around Gaiman. So now Milt up to the lead, a little bit further back. You can see Pierce and Sears, they're fighting hard here. Pierce going to be ready on the high side here. Not going to be able to get clear. It's Pierce and Sears still side by side. And you see right there, Battlefleet will cut back up to the lead here just for a second. That battle's important, but the lead could change here as Feather Place is getting a run on Millet. Can't get the job done. Cut back to Pierce here as well. Sometimes you wish we had a side by side. Pierce is now sitting there in 5th. Sears is in 6th, and Hagen now going to try to make a move on Sears for 7th. Hagen going to get clear. Remember, stage ends. Just want to confirm I got the right number here. Just give me 2 seconds here. Stage is going to end on lap 70. So, coming close to the end of stage 2 here. We may start seeing a bit of a tire advantage playing out, at least a little bit. Well, partially, I would say, but the 2 cars that came in on 27 and 30, Pierce there on 30, and Hagen on 27, both pitted for fuel. So all cars on the same strategy here in the first 8 spots. Actually, you can say the first 10. First car to take 4 tires that came in under the surface was Jonathan Adams sitting in 14th. So all cars on equal strategies, on tires at least, but fuel may be a bit of a different story. Side by side as well. Not anything happening in the first 4 spots. Milton's been able to get back to the lead. Feather Place now in 2nd, Gaiman in 3rd. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. You can see Pierce, remember, qualified on the front row, had a little bit of a touch-up with Millet in the opening laps, fell back, now trying to get back up again, drifts up the surface just a bit there, almost gets into Breo. That's going to allow Hagen to get clear, and it's going to probably allow Sears and Roberts to try to follow suit. Sears will get well clear. Roberts going to try to find a way around the high side. He'll clear as well. So one slight mistake by the 9, and it's taken him from 4th, 5th, I should say, down to 8th, so a loss of 3 spots. Speaking of Brad Roberts, we're focused on the screen at the moment here. He is one of the biggest movers on the circuit right now, up 13 spots where he qualified. The other biggest mover at the moment, the most spots gained, is Lilacs here. We'll cut to her for a second. Say she's up the most spots, up 17 from where she qualified. So looking to try to get a little bit further up and maybe make that number even higher. But back to the third placers. They're getting racy here up towards the front. Breo going to get clear here of Gaiman. Gaiman's beginning to drift back a little bit here. He's led a good portion of this second stage. Only driver not named Zach Millet to lead a lap, and is now fallen back to fourth position and falling. We know that 61 has a little bit of a problem saving tires. He's relatively good. I don't want to sound like he's terrible, but if we like rank the field on their tire saving abilities, he's above average. His speed comes at running down and making the things work, but when you get to the end of a long run, sometimes he can fall off just a bit. But that doesn't hinder championships. We saw Tommy Reynolds with another driver last season that had that same ability to not really save the tires all that well late in a run, and he ended up winning a championship. So, and even Gaiman was in the Final Four, so tire saving is not always the most important thing, especially if the cautions and the stages fly where they need to be. As you'll see, Hagan getting to try to make a move on Gaiman, but more importantly, you'll see in the foreground this shot here, it's getting a bit racy towards the front. Brandon Featherplace. Remember, Line Power's best driver last season. Line Power's strongest driver last season, regular season champion, was in the Final Four, ended up finishing, I want to say P3 in the Final Four standings. Only got, I think, 2 wins on the year. Looking to get a win here in the fill-in role. Gonna need to probably get a win. Not gonna be easy to point his way in with missing the first few rounds, but if he can win a race, it almost certainly lock himself into the playoffs and put on defense to try to right the wrongs of last season. Right now, still sitting in P2, not able to get a full run. A little bit further back, we'll cut back to Brent Roberts, who's getting a run on Josh Gaiman. And Roger Pierce has caught back up as well. More importantly, Dale Markowski, as we watch this battle for a second, we're going to cut just away for just a second to show. Dale Markowski's in a P10. This is the last spot in on stage points as Patrick Overstat looking to try to get around in his Carolina Big Machine around Dale Markowski for Black Acid. Both cars fighting hard here for the last stage point, but we'll cut back up a little bit higher up here to where we were watching. Gaiman gets loose off of 4. That's going to open the door for Roberts and Pierce to get around, and it's going to put Gaiman above. We just saw him get a little squiggly, and it's cost him time. Back up to the lead, Featherplace again, charging down Millet. He's put about a second, both drivers put a second gap on the next major rival, Jerry Breo, so this stage win is going to come down between these two cars. This is Featherplace going to go low here, going to try to get the run. Focusing on other battles as well. This is the battle for the leads. We're focusing on this at the moment. Pretty much the top 10 is pretty much single file, but you can see a little racy for the last stage win. We'll cut to that in a second here. Actually, we'll keep a shot on this for a second here. I want to keep the battle for this lead here going. Featherplace is going to try to go low here, get a run off the corner entry. It's going to have a fender there. He's going to have to get a good exit here if he wants to keep it side by side. He'll get it, but he gets just a little loose. Not going to allow him the best run in 3 here. Featherplace going to try to run through, maybe try to put a little bit of a pinch on the 65. Oh, look how close they got. Almost led to destruction there. They keep it all pulling in the right direction. Lap 68 of 73 to go in the stage. Josh Gaiman taking service here, by the way. He's coming down pit lane a bit early. I wonder if that is a scheduled stop or if he's got some damage. Don't see anything worth noting in a self-spin or anything. So we'll stay on this battle, though. Keep an eye on this time suit. He will go at least 1 down, though, so interesting call for the 61 machine. But battle here rages on. Millet hangs on for now. 2 to go. Millet, Featherplace, Breo, Hagan, your top 4. And then you can see the battle raging on for a second. Just I saw the battle box here in the top 10. Look at Featherplace, gets an all right run. How bad does he want this stage? And those 5 stage points could be a crucial time when the playoffs roll around in 14 weeks' time. If Millet doesn't take a full season opportunity here, those stage points could go a-knockin'. Final lap in the stage. We'll cut to the end, cut away from this just for a second here to show you how racy it is for the last stage point, as it's right now a big battle between Proudfoot, Oberstadt, and Adams and Markowski. Gap's growing here as well. Looks like Feather Place is not going to get the charge he needs. So we'll focus on the battle for 10th here and the final stage point. Adams going to try to make around Oberstadt here. They're racing hard here. And as the leader comes across the line, Millet will take the stage. It's going to be a race here for the finish. And Proudfoot will get it, and Oberstadt will get the other one, and Adams will end up with nothing other than P11 at the end of stage 2. So Zach Milt, will cut to him now, wins the stage. Brandon Featherplace gets 2nd. Jeremy Breo 3rd. John Hagen there will get 4th. Tom Sears with a nice P5. Brendan Roberts 6th. Roger Pierce 7th. Tracy Wygen 8th. Brandon Proudfoot 9th. And Patrick Oberstadt will get the last stage point in his number 41 machine. So now pit stops should presumably be open next time by. Thought it would have been open that time by. But we'll go one extra lap here, and pit lane should be open here on lap 72. They will now catch the pace cars. Yep, we'll go have pit stops this time by. More importantly, just to kind of update Josh Gaiman, he's there. He actually ended up going, I believe, 1 down here. We'll wait till it spins around here to confirm that. Should get the lucky dog, though, as he's the first one down. So, interesting call for him to come in. Must have been really struggling with the tires. Or maybe ran out of. Well, he came in topped off. Interesting strategy at the very least, though. But he'll get his lap back, and at least he'll be on the lead lap. So at least there's that. So field will come on in. Most cars assuming will be coming in as it was a long stage 2 here for fresh tires, fuel, top it off. Make sure you get all those freshies on and make it work. This pit lane is a crowded place indeed. You can see right there as well, Gaiman staying out to get his lap back. Just to cut you there real fast, show you. There he is. And now we'll cut to the front pit lane here and keep an eye on the box. Oop, focused on Gaiman here. My mistake. There we go. So who is going to win the race off pit lane? Whose virtual crew will get them the chance to make this work here? Cars already beginning to leave their boxes. Some may be taking alternate strategies here. There's Breo. There's Featherplace. But it's going to be the 65 of Zach Millet winning the race off pit lane. Featherplace 2nd. Breo 3rd. Hagen 4th. Sears 5th. Roberts 6th. So on and so forth down, as you'll see in the top 10 right there. No one took an alternate strategy. Everyone taking 4 tires and fuel. I see the last of the cars coming off pit lane here. Oh, got confirmation of what happened with Josh Gaiman. He ran out of fuel, so that was emergency service. Did not have enough fuel in the car. Thank you for his teammate in Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, or I guess her teammate. Regardless, Alyssa Pelletier-Sharp, thank you for that information. Tell us what happened to Josh Gaiman. Ran out of fuel, so that is why he had to come down for service there on lap 68. Luckily, again, he will be on the lead lap. We'll actually cut to him right now, if we can find him. There he is, right there, currently sitting in P20, but looks like he'll come now in again and top off. But luckily, so interesting, no, maybe underfueled the car, maybe been a bit of a bad switch there, but luckily, again, could have been worse. If we went 2 down, would definitely be struggling, but kind of stinks because the bad luck of Gaiman continues. He's had an all right season, but he's just been struggling to get good finishes. Been a bit snake-bitten. That's why he's currently sitting 7 points off the cut line at the moment. Again, a strong driver, but he's definitely a live-by-the-sword, die-by-the-sword driver, at least so far this season. But definitely someone that you can't count out week in and week out, especially with more rounds coming up here that may favor him, especially some short tracks. Definitely someone to keep an eye on, especially if he can get in the playoffs. But anyway, we'll talk enough about Josh Gaiman here. We'll focus on our race leader, Zachary Millet, or Zach Millet, I should say. Currently was the fastest driver. Trying to go for a weekend sweep, if you will. Was the fastest driver in warm-up. If I'm not mistaken, he was the fastest driver in the practice session. was the fastest driver during qualifying. He's won both stages, looking poised to lead the most amount of laps. If he can win this final stage, he's done a perfecto. And he's basically won it all. He's done everything you can do in a race weekend. And it's looking point to do it. And probably Dustin Painter, who's not here tonight, obviously he'll get that ride back. It's not like he'll take that seat full-time over unless Painter leaves the series for whatever reason. But definitely, if he can compete full-time or wants to compete full-time, a lot of drivers right now maybe knocking on the door of Zachary Millett. If they have an opening, could be saying, hey, maybe we can work out a deal and get you a full-time seat and get you a playoff ride. Or take your, chance to make it work. But obviously, a lot of drivers happy with their lineups, and we probably won't see that for this a little bit. But you have to see how that point works out. So lights out of the pace car. Enough speculation, silly season, what have you. We'll focus on the weekend at hand right now. Zachary Millett will take the lead here on the front row along with Brandon Featherplace. They will be row number 1. Breo and Hagen will be row 2. Sears and Roberts, row 3. Roger, Ears, Pearson, Patrick Overstat, row 4. And Lilac Sear and Jonathan Adams, driver needing a good weekend. Both drivers needing good weekends. Currently sitting in the 5th row, respectively. Biggest move, speaking of, we have 31 cars on the lead lap, 32 with Donald Ray as he's coming out of the pit lane here for extra service. So right there, he's leaving the pit lane. We'll see if he can get caught up or not. But he will be 32 cars on the lead lap, 2 cars on the retirement list, Lily Peltier-Sharp and Josh Battles, both behind the wall. So 32 cars still running, 32 cars on the lead lap. We'll see how this final stage breaks out. We'll see what it has in store for these drivers. So pace car going to take the lonesome ride down the pit lane. Green flag is out and away we go. Good launch by the 65. See if the rest can keep up. Oh, look at that. Bunch of cars almost run into the wall there. Few actions way in the back there. Big incident in the wall there. You can see it's the 48 of Tristan Catania. And I think it's David Wright is the other one there. We stayed green, more importantly. It's only a kind of two-car. It's a 2-car incident, but only 1 car ended up going sideways. There's Tristan Catania. We actually have a battle for the lead here. We'll have to hold off that for a second. Look at that stack up P6 as well. A lot of things to cover here. Right now, though, Featherplace looking to try to get clear for the lead here, and he will. And we'll see if Millett can get a chance. And look at that. I was pointing that out in the far shot. Look at that. Cars all around. Adams, Featherplace, Hagen. Just better to count it out when they end up spinning around here. And you can see it's a car park down there. There's Ross Baxter, Proudfoot, Stefan Oberstadt right there. He's a bit slow. Saw the stack up occurring there. And I wanted to cut to it, but we saw the battle for the lead. But you see a few cars. There's Proudfoot tore up. Ross Baxter. Jonathan Adams had a tow to pit lane. There's Tristan Tani, who obviously was all in the first spin. Just chaos at the very least. We can just kind of just shut through some cars real fast. There's John Hagen. He's tore up the front end. Deemster looks relatively okay. There's Richie Catania. There's Daniel Shell, tore up front end. So we'll take a look here. We got 2 incidents to kind of quickly cover here. So first, we'll take a look here. If I can get my battle box up, so just give me 2 seconds here. If I ever can find the incident in question. Here we go. Yeah, so we'll take a look here, first of all, what happened, if we can find Catania. I want to take a quick look at his incident. So we'll take a look here just a little bit further back here. We'll let it play out here. As you can see, they were getting cars were taking evasive action here, so we'll play it at full speed here. See, David Wright comes to the road, Catania's there, and yeah, both cars fighting over real estate. Both go inside wall. They get stuck together. It could have been a caution, maybe not. But Wright keeps going. Tani eventually gets it going as well, but loops it a second time here. And that incident won. And now we're going to cut up the road here just a bit. We're going to focus up just the road where Tom Sears here is. You can see this is the stack up I was talking about here. And we're actually going to take it right here at 4th speed. We're going to play it. Actually, we'll let it play out just a little longer here. And then right here. Okay, we're going to wind just a bit. It looks like it's right there with John Hagen. And you're going to see right there with the 81 of John Hagen. We'll now play it at 4th speed. And you can just see he ends up, I believe, pinching the curb here. Yeah, he gets low, and gets on the curb. It upsets the car, has it saved, and then it kicks. And now we'll play it at live speed here. Jonathan Adams nowhere to go, and at this point, Proudfoot gets in the feather place. There's Adams with a wild ride, and you can just see a bunch of good cars get tore up as cars take evasive action to try to avoid the incident in question. You can see the aftermath of what happened to Hagan. We'll take another look here as well from Jonathan Adams, who had a hellacious ride here. We'll take it from his, take it from TV3, and we'll play it again at, actually, we'll take it from TV1. We'll let it play out here again. You just see, again, gets off the apron, gets hooked, tries to go low, looks like he has it saved, it just kicks up the race surface, gets right in the wide jet, and boom! Big lick to the high side. And nowhere to go as well, just pops off. Luckily, no one else piles in, but definitely damaged the front end. We'll take one more quick look, one more perspective as well. We'll take it from Proudfoot's perspective, as he had a wild ride. We'll actually take it from his perspective inside the cockpit. There it is. There we go. And we'll let it play his wild ride here and show you what exactly happened. And you see, actually, we'll actually rewind here, just take it a little bit further back here. Now we'll let it play full speed. You see Hagan just gets a little on the apron, comes up the surface, and on the brakes, Proudfoot is, and he kicks right in the shell. And at this point, he's just passed, he gets into the Mobile 1 machine of Withers, and at this point, he's just on the brake, trying to hang on and not get extra plowed into. So back to live action. Very racy indeed. You'll see pit lane right now is a bit of a car park, if you will. There's David Wright. He was all that earlier incident. There's Ryan Gomes. He was involved. Donald Ray's been back and forth. Withers, you obviously saw him stopped in that incident as well. That's a better angle to show. And there's Jonathan Adams, who I think's already burned a fast repair. It looks like his day could be done as he's well over 4 minutes on the damage clock. There's Proudfoot. Remember, he's probably already burned his fast repair at the very least. That thing is definitely looking a little worse for wear. And now the defending Texas winner not looking poised to get a win here. We'll see if Hagan was able to come in and get it fixed up. He came in for service. Dave Michelle, obviously, his car got fixed up. Ross Baxter, he's fixed up. There's Proudfoot coming in a second time, by the way. Just trying to get that thing competitively fast. But as we get the one to go, we'll cut to the lead. Obviously, before that incident popped off, Brandon Featherplace took the lead. So Featherplace will be the leader and will be in the front row along with Zach Millett. They'll be in row number 1. Breo and Roberts will be row 2. Sears and Patrick Oberstadt, row 3. Roger Ears, Pierce, and Pacey Wygent will be the next row. And Austin Mongrel, remember, had that incident on the end of stage 1. He's currently sitting nicely in the top 10 now in that Dr. Pepper machine, along with Dale Morakowski, making up the first 5 rows. A little bit further back, we'll just quickly run over the top 15. You got Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, currently driver on the bubble. The playoffs, Richie Catania in 12th. Kevin Feemster there in 13th. Ryan Gomes in 14th. And Michael Joy there in 15th. And just because I like the scheme, Mark DeLayla in 16th in that Kellogg's Frosted Flakes machine. Shout out Terry Labonte. But back to the front. Brandon Featherplace with control. Panscar going to take the lonesome trip down pit lane.
Green, green, green.
Green flag is out, and away we go. I was taking cautiously here, just trying to find time. Oh, DeLayla had a bit of a mistake there. You can see him way off the line there, but he'll get it back into the circuit with no trouble. Still Featherplace and Millett 1-2. Breo now sitting 3rd. You can see right there, though, Tom Sears getting a move on Bren Roberts here. Tom Sears has been a sneaky top 5 car all day right now. And trying to keep that former run going. There's Roger Pierce. Remember, front row started. Looking to be a driver that has a substitute driver. Cannot say they've done this much so far in this series. Back-to-back finishes, but I'll have to hold that thought there. You can see a car spinning in the back. That's Dave, the Phillitt ride for the 28, and he gets in the Proudfoot. Bad, the worst for Proudfoot. The front clip's been torn off. There's David Wright as well, and that will be the next caution. That probably is going to be curtains for the 22. As you can see, that thing is pretty torn up. As, yeah, that front clip is torn off. That thing is not turning. Yeah, and he'll be coming on in. There's David Wright as well. He is probably going to come in as well. Remember, he's also having struggling turning. And there's the 28 as well of Edward Marshall filling in for David Hawk this week, as he was involved as well. So obviously we saw it in real time, but we'll take a quick look again just to show you what exactly happened here. Obviously caution was called a little bit later, but we'll see what exactly caused that 28 to get out of sorts here. Looks like he just lost on his own here. We'll take it from a scenic cam here. Or I guess not a scenic cam, but that's the wrong one. Hold up. There we go. And we'll play it at 4 speed. Riding all alone. Cody Pennell behind. Trying to make a move on Feem, so it's just around the top 10-ish, 15-ish. Yeah, he just loses it on his own here. It just kicks out. Goes low. Now we'll play it at full speed here. You can see he hasn't saved. Twice he saves, coming up the surface, and it just kicks out at the last second. And nowhere for Proudfoot to go here. Speaking of Proudfoot, we'll take a look at what happened to him here in this perspective. Oop, there we go. And we'll take it from his own view as well from the cockpit. You can already see this is pretty much the aftermath of what happened, but see way in the back here after the last serve stop here. Just trying to maybe get some points, get some maybe momentum going here. See right up the road there. Car gets loose. Going high, and yeah. David Wright was to his high side too, so there's no really from the go. Just hoping that 28 didn't kick at the last second. It did, and that smells probably the end of Brandon Proudfoot's day. Back to live action. There's Edward Marshall, speaking of the 28 machine. There he is. He's got the car all fixed up nicely, but going to pit lane, there's Brandon Proudfoot right now, well over a minute 35 on the clock. David Wright as well, sitting in the pit lane as well. Been a rough season for Wright, though, more importantly. Who's just looking to get a good finish here, as he's a driver that won 2 races last season. Just pull up my standings board here to see where he currently is. Had 2 wins last season, is currently sitting 14th in the standings. Definitely still a long way to go. David Wright knows how to get going when the times get tough, as he was a final round of 8 driver last season. Came within a handful of points of getting a top, going to the Final 4. But right now, that Texas Pete machine definitely hoped for a little bit better. So anyway, as we do have another lap of pacing here, we had a quick replay on the cautions here. Again, as we are in the final stage here, 6 cautions tonight. Again, just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for joining us here on this Sunday evening or midday or wherever you may be right now, whatever time zone you're in. Thank you for joining us here. I am Kevin Young, always here almost every Sunday night to bring the A Squared Cup Series to the masses. But yeah, thank you for joining us on ABN2. While you're here, if you like this opportunity, you can also follow the channel, subscribe if you want to, heart the channel if you will, do whatever you want on Twitch, and if you're watching the replay on YouTube, also like and subscribe the video and share it as well. Share the stream out too on Twitch as well. It really helps ABN2 grow. It also helps ABN, and it also helps the A Squared Cup Series with their viewership as well. So thank you for all, and thank you, and hopefully this last 50-ish laps is up to the standards that the viewer enjoys. So anyway, sentimental view is over here. We're going to get the one to go this time by. Proudfoot and Wright still in the pit lane. Their day is done. We have 29 cars still rolling. 28 cars on the lead lap. Only car 1 down is Edward Marshall. Lead is handed over to Feather Place, and it's going to be a similar front row to the last restart. Feather Place will have control with Millett on his outside. Breo and Roberts, row 2. Speaking of row 2, there it is. Roger Ears Pierce, and Pacey Wygett will be the next row. Actually, my mistake. Pierce and... Let me just start over. Feather Place, Millett, row 1. Breo, Roberts, row 2. Pierce and Sears, row 3. Just confused me on my numbers there. Wygett, Oberstadt, row 4. Austin Mongold and Richie Catania will be the first 5 rows. Again, Mongold and Catania have good runs here just inside the top 10. And there's Michael Lawrence sitting in 12th. Actually, Markowski's 10th. Catania's 11th. And Michael Lawrence is 12th. good runs. Gaiman's gotten it back up to 13th. John Hagen's in 14th. And Ryan Gomes will be the first car in 15th. But he's even get a good green flag run here. We saw long runs really played factor and help both Feather Place and Millet. So we'll see if that can continue raging on. I think both drivers would definitely be hoping for a long run here. So the pace car is going to pull off. It's going to be on Feather Place's control. Green flag is out, and away we go. Look at that right there. Cars begin to fan out here for position. Milt will hold up charge from Breo, but Pierce and Roberts fighting hard for fourth here. Wygen and Sears fighting hard for sixth. Wygen will get clear of Sears, and Pierce get ahead of Roberts. These drivers make moves here and make them proudly. There's Mongold getting around back. Mongold and Markowski say those three names 3 times fast. Fighting hard here, and there's Gaiman going to try to make a low run work here, but we're going to cut back up to the front here as you can see Millet. It's getting a good run here to try to take the lead back from Feather Place, and Pierce going to try to make a move on Breo. 2 cars fighting hard for first and third respectively. Pierce is not going to still be side by side with Breo, but Millet is going to get well clear of Feather Place. Feather Place is going to fall second. We saw this happen last run in the end of stage throughout stage 2. We saw Feather Place play a bit of a relaxed game. Saved the stuff up, made it sure he could get to the finish line, and then pushed hard. There's a blink there for the 9. I almost think Seth Wansing's that machine for a bit with it blinking. Could be a bit of sketchy, though. Luckily, let's hope that settles out, though. But right there, again, Feather Place will hold up charge barefoot, and then you can see right there, Pierce and Wygen side by side. Wygen going to try to clear the low side here. Another driver that's really been bit by the struggle bus is the 00 Pacey Wygen. You can see right there, going to not get clear of anything. Will stay in P5. He's the driver at the very least that's been struggling. And was sitting firmly outside 23rd in the point standings. Definitely needs a good run to get that point in the right direction. Going to try to go high side around Breo. More importantly, oh, he hits the wall. He's going to get hooked. Oh, no. Spinning around there. And caution, chaos. There's Breo as well. Markowski involved. Slow on the button. My apologies for missing that. But you can see right there he is. Breo well stopped at the moment. We'll see if we can find the 00 here. There's Pacey Wygen. Looks relatively okay. Looks like he didn't hit anything for the most part. That thing looks fine. But looking at Dale Markowski, the front end clip is torn off that machine. He will just have to jump the pit lane here. We'll see if we can quickly get a shot of it. Yeah, there. It can't even get a front shot of him. But yeah, that was an interesting incident here. We'll have to see what exactly happened between Markowski and Breo there. So we're going to call back here. This is a little bit further in the incident here, but we're going to end up rewinding here because you can see this is where the stack-up occurred. Ron Riley, it looks like something happened also to Riley Gomes, but that is not why we're focusing on this. We're going to cut the Breo here. We're going to go for a nice high-in-the-sky camera. I'm going to play it. We're going to wind just a bit, and we're going to play it at 4th speed. So play it, and it'll slow it down here. So you can see right there at the moment, you're going to see the 00 pushes too high here. Like Icarus flies too close to the sun, hits the wall, shoots down, and gets hooked on the 74. Now, the 00 gets sent the road. May have been the saving grace for him as he comes up the road, Breo, and he hits the wall a ton here while the 00 is spinning through the grass. And you can see cars trying to evade action him, and Markowski nowhere to go. Hits the back of him. LaJoy ends up ping-ponging him around. Lawrence ends up getting a piece as well in that incident. We'll cut a little bit further back. There's the Riley Gomes, the 55. Or, sorry, Gomes, not Riley Gomes. The 55 of Gomes gets involved there. Breo going to shoot up the racing surface there. Feemster ends up hitting the wall too. The 12 of Cody Pinnell ends up avoiding most of this melee here. And ends up taking a major piece here as well. So we'll play it back live here. Now we'll take a look at what happened. If we can find the incident question, we'll go back here. Rewind just a bit here. Actually, it was Ryan Gomes. I misread that. Ryan Gomes was involved. We'll take a look here now at the double zeros perspective, and then we'll take one more look at the 33 Markowski. Playing at live speed here. We'll do it from this camera angle here. Again, just plows the wall, shoots down. Actually, it was probably the best thing he went through the grass because he doesn't come back up the racing surface. But look at how close he ends up getting piled in. Just want to rewind here just to show it. Just how close he ends up getting, avoiding it luckily, and just we'll play at live speed here, and then we'll pause and play it at 4th speed. There you can see LaJoy coming along. Look at Cheeseburger Lawrence, how close he comes to hitting the machine here. We'll play at 4th speed, that close to getting hit. So the double zero, thanking his lucky stars, he ended up not getting piled into there and ends up not getting a big piece of it. We'll take one more quick look here from the perspective of Dale Markowski. We'll take it from his own view here as he had not a fun day at the office here. As we'll play it at full speed here, and we'll just let it show you what he saw from his eyes. There's a double hit the wall, puff of smoke, trying to bend on a line here, going to go high, and yeah, just nowhere to go. Brayo hit the wall, shooting down on the brakes, and nowhere to go. There you can see also, shooting through the low side there, taking base extra to the pit lane, but yeah. And that is how Markowski's day is probably going to end up finishing. Actually, yeah, finishing. Yep. So anyway, back to live action. Cut back to the front here. There's Zachary Millett. Roger Pierce will have second. He was able to get second before the caution was thrown, so he'll end up taking P2 away. No cars came in for service. Well, actually, some cars did come in for pit stops, so we'll actually go over that real fast right now to kind of show the hand here. Millett, Pierce, Featherplace, Gaiman, Pinnell all stayed out. Stefan Oberstadt came in on lap 84. He's all stayed out as well, along with Tristan Catania, but both came in more recently than the top 5, as Oberstadt came in at 84, Tristan Catania came in at 78. So they'll have a slight advantage here. Mark DeLayla came in at 85. As the pace car blinks for a second there. Mark DeLayla will be, speaking of Mark DeLayla, there he is in 8th. Danny Michelle came in at lap 93, along with Bran Roberts, Tom Sears, Hagan, Patrick Oberstadt, Richie Catania. Pretty much the rest of the field here you're seeing either resolved the incident or came in under service under this current caution we're watching. And they should be, at the very least, good to go to the finish. About 30-ish laps here. The question is, and it relies on, what is the condition for Millett, Pierce, Featherplace, Gaiman, and the rest? They came in at lap 72. In theory, the last stage went to 50. They all made it comfortably for the most part, including Gaiman. But there were questions, especially with the caution laps, that extend the stage a bit. It raises the question, what is the concerns of fuel? Will these cars have to stop one more time, or can they make it out? More importantly, if they can make it, what will be the advantages? We've seen the cars that came in, like Michelle, Roberts here a little bit further back, Tom Sears, John Hagan. They have about a 20 lap deficit on 20% positive on their tires, fuel. So they're going to be slightly stronger as this run goes on over the cars currently sitting here. But these questions will be answered in due time as this race is going to get underway. So as the pace car is going to pull on in here, it's going to be on the control of Millett in 65. Green flag is out, and away we go. Great launch by the 65. Featherplace, though, is going to catch the 9 Slapin, and he's going to take second as the rest file in here. So we have battle for second raging on here at the moment. Demons also join the party here. Pierce will get second, Featherplace fall third, Gaiman's fall in the fourth. So the series regulars now third and fourth, and the substitute drivers are first and second. There's Cody Pinnell in fifth there. A little bit racing the back, and more importantly, Dan Michelle. Remember, fresher tires here, pinned with 93, up to 6th for line power. Let's see how quickly we try to close that gap up here and see how quickly he can get that gap closed. You can see it getting pretty racy up here. Up to the front, we have a battle for the lead and a pass for the lead as Pierce sets up Millet in the 3 and 4. They'll be side by side like they were to open this race. That ended for a catastrophe last time for the 9. We'll see how it all plays here again. Can the 9 make this low side work here? And he will get clear, so put the 9 up to the point, up to the lead. They will take the lead away from the 65 of Millet. Now plays in third, Gaiman in fourth. As he get a little bit racy, a little bit further back, though. He also set the fastest sector 1 of this race, Roger Pierce. We'll see what blistering lap he can put on this time by. But I was looking in the back here. Sears, Delela, Oberstadt, Hagen, side by side, 2 abreast by 2 abreast here. As they fight hard here just inside the top 10. Delela's currently the car in 10th, so 9th Sears, 10th Delela. Patrick Oberstadt looking to try to crash the top 10 here. And there's Hagen and Wygen. Wygen, again, being that last incident, came in, fix it up. Looking relatively okay. There's Richie Gattani going to try to make a move on the low side of Wygen. Look up to the front here. As well, you saw in the battle box, Daniel Michel got around Cody Pinnell. So now Michel is firmly in 5th. And again, he's got those fresher tires in comparison to the 4 cars ahead of him. Have to keep an eye on those times and see exactly what happens here. Let's focus on this battle here. Just inside the top 10, as it looks like Sears will hold the 9th. Delela, one of the bigger movers in the field, up 17 spots. Not the biggest. That's Tristan Gattani, just up the road there. The 48 is the biggest mover, up 19. Look at John Hagen. He knows he's got a fast 81. Just trying to find a way through. Maybe make something happen. Just up the road here. Sears, Gattani gets a little loose here, and that's going to open the door for a handful of cars here to get around here, including Sears, Patrick Oberstadt, John Hagen. Oh, car on the wall. It's Michael Joy up the road there. When you find him, there he is. Single car incident for the most part. Not pop up anything red, but that thing is torn. I'm going to quickly rewind here just to see what happened to him. He's currently a lap down. And he was getting... Oh, looks like it may have happened for a while here, so we'll kind of just go back to live action. Looks like he had an incident. Must have happened in the previous lap and just could not get it fired back up. And now he'll come down pit lane here. So very odd incident indeed, losing the front clip like that. But it's probably going to be day done for the 29 machine. But as we're going to hit 31 to go here. See, this is the race lead. We're going to cut through the field here for a second, find a good battle here. You can see it's still getting pretty racy here, just inside the top 10. As Patrick Oberstadt and Pacey Wygen, they're fighting for the last spot in the top 10. You can see Delela having a bit of a blink fest here. Get it accentuated, fall down to 11th. More importantly, I'm going to cut back up as we get this battle still out here. We're going to cut to Daniel Michel here. Remember, fresher tires here. He's slowly wheeling the top 4, but here's the thing more importantly. Cody Pinnell has not been left in the dust. I mean, Cody Pinnell's no spring tricking, but Cody Pinnell is still hanging on the back of Michel at least a little bit here. Obviously struggling just a bit, but still hanging on here. Michel trying to make the strategy work here. Pretty much top 10 separated single file here. Joy has left the pit, so he has continued on here. He's not pulled behind the wall, but going to be at least another lap down here. There you can see Michael Joy on the low side here. Speaking of, you can see 23 cars on the lead lap at the moment here. This past period's caution has taken a few cars for a ride. It looks like, again, 25's kind of hit a bit of a pitfall here and is stuck. But if we go back up to the race lead here, you can see right there, it's getting pretty close. Millet has caught the back of Pierce again. And they're raging on their battles here. So all we have this bit of, oh, I have to hold that thought. The 9 get a little loose there. You can see a puff of smoke. Trying to rotate the car, locked it up just a bit. And that's going to allow Millet a chance here to go low side. Won't be able to get it done, though, as he'll stay inside. The 9 will hold off the charge. So while we got this quick lull in the action, well, actually, I was going to say, well, actually, we'll hang on this battle here. So this battle raging on here. We'll see if the 65 of Millet can get a pass done here. is knocking on the door. Feather Place, remember, is not that far away in third. They get a little racy. Can close the gap for Feather Place to get closed up. More importantly, Gaiman and Michelle can also get caught up as well. Racy here. Look at that. Low side's going to allow Millet a chance here. So to answer low side here, and he's going to get clear of the 9. So put Zachary Millet up to the point and the race lead again as Roger Pierce is going to fall to second, but Pierce not going to allow that to go too quietly. And Josh Gaiman in the pit lane here, more importantly. Remember, he came in last, I believe, on service of the 72 crew, so he's probably in here for a pit stop at the very least. Let's see how long his stop was. Point. And look at Pierce as well. Going to fall into the clutches of Brandon Featherplace as well. Low side, high side. So it's gone all wrong for the 9, as now he is falling down to third with 25 laps to go here. And I think it's pit stop time for the 9. So the crew that's coming in this time by, they're all in. You can see right there, Roger Pierce, he is in. So he was coming in that time by, and he is now officially in. That's going to hand second place to Featherplace. More importantly, going to put Michelle up to third, Hagen up to fourth. There's Michelle. There's Michelle. There's Hagen. And then a little bit racier, a little bit further back here. Now the question is, what's the rest of the pit lane going to look like here? What's in store for the top half? Lee Gomes has just entered the pit lane as well, but he was a little bit further back here, currently sitting 22nd, so not really much to report on there. 23 to go here. So right there, Wygent looking to get around Stefan Oberstadt. And Tom Sears looking to try to follow suit as well. Sears gets clear. Stefan Oberstadt loses a spot. So we're going to cut back up to the race lead to Zach Millet here. And there's Featherplace in second. They were 1-2 the end of stage last time. They were 1-2 the end stage number 2. Now 1-2 here in the final stage with 22 laps to go. We'll see how it all plays. One laps to go. Is there enough fuel in the tank for Millet and Featherplace? I assume they can make it to the end here because they would have came for service. If not, we actually have a caution, so that point is mute. And we'll see who it was here. Michael Lords is the incident point here. We can never find him. Oh, there's a lot of names here. There he is. But he's actually jumped the pit lane here. So we'll take a quick look here. Looks like Donald Ray may have been involved as well. So we'll take a quick look here, see what happened. And you can already see a bit of what happened here. Looks like he got loose off of 4. So we'll play it at live speed here. Keep an eye on that 47 machine. Oh, he doesn't even hit the wall. He gets loose in the grass, straight, and right in the ray. Shoots it off the surface. And oh, big lick there for the 47. And yeah, just ends up hitting the engine hard there. Ends up taking some major damage there. And you can see the front end pretty much tore off. We'll take one more look here again from Donald Ray's perspective as well. We'll see the wild ride he had as well there. It looks like he got a little loose too, so we'll take this from the cockpit and let it play out here. Gets loose as well, has it saved. 47 comes up, tries to go low, they touch, and in the wall hard. And pretty much destroys the right front. So back to live action. You can see pit road is a crowded place. Everyone has come on in except for one car. We'll tell you that car in a second here as we'll watch the race off pit lane here. There you can see right there, the 89 of Lilac's Ear has stayed out on the racing surface. A is pinned a few cars. They're trying to get the wave round, still one down. But she is staying out here, going to roll the dice. But look at the pit lane exit here. It's going to be an interesting place here, and you can already see some differing strategies. As the race off pit lane concludes, it's going to be Zachary Millet winning it with Brent Roberts taking a 2-tire call at second. Feather Place next with Michelle, Wygent, Hagen, Sears, Oberstadt, and Patrick Oberstedt, Stefan Oberstedt, Patrick Oberstedt, the next two, as they race off pit lane there. All cars taking 4 except Bren Roberts. Driver details on. There we go. Bren Roberts being the only car that elected not to take taking 2 tires, I should say. But more importantly, what cuts the race lead, that 89 Rookie of the Year machine right there of Lilac Zier. She leads the way. She stayed out. Now, this is where it's a bit interesting. The 33 Dale Markowski and Roger Pierce, who came in early, is now going to be trapped 1 down unless the 89 decides to come down here for service quickly here. She will not. So it's going to pin the 33 and the 9 a lap down. Markowski going to come back in. Pierce is going to be kicking himself just a bit here, along with Gaiman and Gomes right behind there. They were all looking to get the wave around here. Well, Gomes is a little bit further back. But Gaiman and Pierce are looking to get the wave around here. And with the 89 staying out, it's pinched them 1 down. They will have to drift to the back here and race it out for a lucky dog. LaJoy, though, luckily will get one of his lap backs. The problem is he is multiple laps down. And that thing is pretty torn up anyway. So it's just looking at currently 10 down here. So just trying to hope for other retirements and get a few extra spots. Well, this is going to be interesting. Why is it going to be interesting? Because you got strategy choice. Lilac Zier obviously should, presumably since she came in at lap 93, should have the fuel to make it, but now going to have the tire strategy a bit differently. The thing, though, it's more importantly to note, though, is that she tried the strategy last week at Sonoma at the end of Stage 1, and it worked out a treat for her. She ended up getting a top 10 out of it. So she knows the strategy works out for her. The question is, she may not be able to get the win out of this, but she's still looking for a net positive. She was just outside the top 10 when this started, and is now going to be trying to keep the top 10 spot here. So let's cycle through the field here. Zier and Zach Millett will be row number 1. Brent Roberts on 2 tires will be in row 2, along with Brandon Fairplace on 4. And Michelle Pacey Wydget both on 4 tires will be the next row. John Hagan and Tom Sears, they will be the next row, also on 4 tires. And then the Oberstadt brothers will be the next row here for both Carolina Beagle. And then it's Delayla, Pinnell, Mongold, Withers, Feemster in your top 15. 20 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap there is Edward Marshall. He'll be the last car on the lead lap. First car 1 down is Roger Pierce and Josh Gaiman. Buried a little bit further back. Gonna need a caution. They want to get back on the lead lap here. Pit stops for the most part are through. Virtual crews are now done. It's up to the drivers to try to drive their way to a good finish or even a victory. Will Sears or Robert's strategy play it off, or will it be Millett, Featherplace, Wydgen, or Michelle taking advantage and taking home a checkered flag? We'll find out in 16 laps time. Pace car is going to take the lonesome trip down pit lane as we are going to get ready here to go green. Green flag is out, and away we go. Not a great restart for the 89. Already feel a bit of that tire deg. She'll have the low side here. The question is, how long can she hang on? As we saw Michelle, though, with those fresh tires, not able to carve up through the field, so track position and clean air is key to a bit. But looking at the high start there, Millett is going to try to go around the long way. Robert's going to follow suit as well. Featherplace going to try to go low around that. Going to be 3 wide almost. Featherplace thinks better of it. Millett will take the lead with 15 to go. And we have a caution there. Looks like it's a little bit further back there. Looks like it's Feemster possibly. No, it's Austin Mongold by mistake. And Mark Delayla. We saw in the little thing is they had an off-track incident. And it looks like they've had a bit of a problem here as Mark Delayla as well is now You can see him right there getting it fired back up. So it looks like we'll take a look here as well. Not much damage by the car, but we'll take a look here what happened with Mark DeLayla. It's going to happen a little bit further back here. We're still just outside the top 10, so we'll play it at full speed here. Just see what happened. Oh, they end up touching. DeLayla and Mongold end up touching. Shoots DeLayla up the race surface. Tani also gets loose, by the way, as well. And DeLayla's just going the wrong way on. Austin Mongold mowed that wall down. And you can see DeLayla actually really, for the most part, doesn't get much damage, so he's relatively okay. But Austin Mongold, we'll take a look at what he saw here, as we'll take it from a wide shot here. If I could find a good shot here. There we go. We'll take it from a wide shot here. And actually, we'll take it from... Actually, I changed my mind on this. We'll take it from the chopper camera here. Play it at 4 speed just to... That was the fast forward button. We'll rewind back here. We'll pause it. And we'll go 4 speed just to show again. And then we'll play it at full. But you can see right there, Austin Mongold coming up. Both cars hit the same tarmac at the same time. Baxter hits the wall as well. Roger Pierce ends up avoiding it, and then we'll play it at full speed here. Mongold trying to keep it low, gets loose off the grass, comes up the surface, and big lick. Markowski luckily avoids piling in for a second time in the back of a Beachron car across the start-finish line. And will end up avoiding the major catastrophes. So back to live action, there's DeLayla hitting his box right now. But this is now interesting. It's recycled the field. Mongold, Gomes, DeLayla all in, by the way, just in case you're curious who came down pit lane that time. Should allow Roger Pierce his lap back here. So he'll be back in the lead lap, giving us 21 cars. Presumably Gomes and Mongold can reach the count before the leaders catch them. We should have 21 cars on the lead lap. Zier's fallen down the third. Roberts has been promoted up to second. So it's going to be interesting how this plays, how this strategy works out. Roberts, remember, on 2 tires. Can they grip? Can they be good enough to make this work? Go and cycle the field here in a second. We're going to let him get bunched up, but Zach Millett will have the race lead. We'll go around 1 extra lap of pacing here. So when we go green, we'll have 10 laps to go. 15 miles. When we go green. Again, we'll take this quick opportunity to thank everyone for the final 12 laps here. About to be 10 in a few laps time. Thank you for joining us here on ABN2. I'm Kevin Young, as always, bringing you A Squared Cup Series competition. Thank you for joining us here for Texas. Hopefully these last 10 laps are up to your standards. So we'll take a look here and reset the field here. Zachary Millett, pole sitter, has won both stages, has led every practice session, is looking to do the weekend sweep here. Bren Roberts, 2-tiring strategy here, trying to hang tough with Zach Millett, who's been very strong throughout the whole day. Lilac Sear, biggest move starting this race, up 28 spots. Stayed out under the 2 cautions ago when everyone else came in. Probably not in a strategy to win, but looking to make it a net gain for the 89 car. Brandon Featherplace, been one of the few cars that have really challenged Zachary Millett. Was in close contention at the end of stage 2. Going to be start firing off 4th when we go green next time by. Pacey White also on 4 tires. Pacey White as well on 4 tires, along with Michelle and Hagen. Hagen has also been a very strong car indeed. Going to be stuck in 7th. 2 wins far this season for the 81, looking to make it 3. Only driver with multiple wins this season. Tom Sears in 8th, along with Patrick Oberstadt and Stefan Oberstadt there. Also strong cars as well. We'll take a look here and as they recycle. Michelle Roberts, like I said, going to be the front row. Zier and Featherplace, row 2. Featherplace has one advantage here. He's going to be on the high side, so if Zier gets another iffy start, it's not going to stack up 34, but someone that's not going to be happy about that is Double Zero, who's going to be on the low side here, who at that 89 does not get going like the last restart, could be a bit of a stacker up on the low side. Michelle and Hagen next row. Sears and Oberstadt the next row, and Stefan Oberstadt and Cody Pinnell the next 2 spots indeed. Or I should say both Oberstadts are 9th and 10th, Cody Pinnell 11th, with Withers in 12th, Ross Baxter 13th, Richie Catania 14th, and Kevin Feemster 15th. Again, 21 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Roger Pierce. Josh Gaiman is the first car, 1 down, along with Ryan Gomes, also 1 down. Another caution would come out. They would be fighting to get back under the lap between the 2 of them. It would give us 22 cars if another retirement doesn't happen. Pace car going to pull off. Can the substitute driver filling in for the Next Gen Racing 65 be able to hang on here and get his first win? The debutant winning on debut. Can Brent Roberts, Sear, or Feather Place, the series regulars, bring the thunder? Pace car is off. Green flag is out, and away we go. Great restart by the 65. Roberts doesn't get as well going down. And you can already see a big stack up for second here as Wygen going to try to split the middle here. Go low side on Sear. Not going to get ready to get caught sticking out here. Going to try to get around Millet. Going to try to catch up to Millet here and get around the cars with the 2 tires and no tires. Still 3 wide for second here as they go off the corner 3. There's Hagen, there's Featherplace, there's Michelle. And Wygen going to get clear here. Featherplace is going to argy-bargy his way to the low side here. Seeing the stack up on the high side. Wygen, big moves for Wygen, put himself up to second. Look at the battle there for 4th as Hagen and Featherplace going to fight hard here. And they're almost 3 wide for 7th as Hagen, Sear, Michelle, and Michelle gets into Sear. Michelle going to have to take evasive action on the low side. We'll lose a couple spots, we'll come back up, we stay green. Featherplace clips the curb just a tiny bit. We'll keep it pointing in the right direction though. Hagen gonna try, not Hagen, Sear's gonna try to get around Sear. Will successfully do so. We're gonna cut away from this battle just for a second here. Sear's gonna lose a couple spots. Pacey Wygen, fastest sector 2 out of the whole race day all today. He is trying to will down Zach Millet in that Fit 65 machine. Wygen in second. Hagen just got around Brent Roberts for 3rd. We'll see if that double zero's got anything these last 7 laps. The mission statement was to get around those slow cars as quick as he could. He did. Not trying to be assaulting the cars on 2 tires, no tires, but knew the tire advantage was going to favor them and knew could not let that 65 set sail. And now with 7 laps to go, he's going to have to set some blistering laps to get the job done. Set a fast lap last time by. Best lap of the race he did at 29.68, 2 tenths faster than Zach Millet is. And look at Cody Pinnell, he's loose in the far shot there. He'll keep it pointing the right direction. No caution will be called as cars will quickly skirting around him. We keep it green. Back to the lead wheel fly. Millet. That time by us, 29.75. Wygen, a 29.68, but Hagen was the fastest out of the top 3 with a 29.65 fast lap of the race for him. Again, it's one thing to catch, it's another thing to pass. What does Wygen have in this car here? Can he pass Millet, which not a lot of drivers have said they can do here today? Can he join that illustrious list as we have 5 to go here? That time by Hagen, fastest sector 2. Fastest out of all the cars on tracks, tied with Featherplace with a 29.63 as Featherplace trying to make a move on Brent Roberts. 4 to go. Millet holding strong. Wygen, though, got the run here. Fastest again that time by. What can he answer with? You can all see Featherplace getting around Roberts in the far shot there. You can see in the wide shot, we're focusing on this battle for the top 3, though. Featherplace looking to get clear, though, in the far shot, though. But anyway, Hagen getting a good run here. Can't get anything done, though. 3 to go this time by. 4.5 miles away from a finish. Remember, we have 3 green white checker attempts if they are needed. But I don't think right now the double zero and 81 want to see a caution. It takes so long to get got back up. A caution would probably be detrimental to their hopes of winning this race. The drivers fighting for position further back here. 2 to go Is Wygent playing maybe a bit of possum here? Is he playing a strategy choice here? Wait out, wait to the last lap, and send something here. Or is he just can't get a run? Hagan, though, going to try to make a move on the 00 Wygent. This is what Zach Millett wants to see. They fight hard here. They are going to open the door for Millett to drive away here. And as they come off a 3 and 4 here, Millett looking strong at the moment here. And as they come out, the flagman's got the white flag in his hand, and he will fly it, as that is the white flag lap brought to you by Smeal Racing Designs. Final lap indeed. Hagan low side. Looks like Zach Millett wanted to do here, as he sees them fighting side by side. Going to allow Millett the chance to drive away here. Hagan, Wygent still fighting hard for second, as they come off at 3 and 4. No challenge there for the lead, as Zach Millett is going to come off as the substitute driver, debutant here tonight. The rookie is going to win the Texas 200, with Pacey Wygent ended up getting second at the flag, with John Hagan in third, Brandon Featherplace in fourth, and Brendan Roberts in fifth. That will be your top 5 here. And it's quite interesting indeed, just kind of stated, is Hagan, great win there by Millett for starter point. We'll start off with that point. Dominating weekend performance there. But more importantly, it raises an interesting question at the very least. If Hagan and Wygent didn't fight, would have Wygent caught Millett and they made a pass? But kind of the argument indeed, 2 cars end up fighting each other. You take the opportunity to pass away for the win, but not going to really affect either driver here. It's been a dominating performance here for Zach Millett, not taking anything away from him. He is your race winner here, as he is going to burn it down. As he is going to spin and spin and spin. So the Clayton, New York driver is your race winner here today, here in the Lone Star State. Not a big burnout there for the 65 either, as they'll park it on the start-finish straight. So anyway, as we wait for drivers to file on in here, do not go anywhere if you're still joining us for this broadcast. Just a little bit of time here, we'll have the top 3 interviews, as we'll hear from Hagan, Wygent, and Zach Millett if we can, and hear their thoughts on the race, hear their opinions, and see what their thoughts were. So we'll check that out in a second here. It's not a long burnout for the 65 machine. Maybe didn't have enough fuel in the tank. Maybe just doesn't want to kind of take an opinion, and you don't want to end up destroying the engine of the car that you drove so hard. And also, first win for more importantly, asking to note, first win for Next Gen Racing as a team. Came in on the season early here, late replacement for whatever entry Tommy Reynolds was going to do, end up filling in. Josh Garrison, as a team owner, will get his first win here in A-Square competition, well, at least in the Cup Series, if you will. So, good win for Next Gen Racing. First win will belong in the history books to Zach Millett. So anyway, we'll move on nicely. We'll kind of move on quickly here to interviews here. Some drivers are filing in. We'll go 3, 2, 1. We'll hear from John Hagan first, and we'll work our way up. John! Oh, sorry, if you're in the waiting room here. John, this is Kevin in the ABN booth here. You got a copy?
I had a copy.
Yeah, it looks like you may have had some thoughts there in the waiting or interview room, maybe with Wygent, maybe with Millett, who knows. But we'll kind of have to go through some interview questions here at the very least. So I guess we'll start off with, you had an all right qualifying. You did relatively okay in qualifying at the very least here. Ended up getting qualifying well. So how was the track to you out there? You seemed like you had a strong car that could carve your way out for the field. So how did the car and the track combination feel for you?
I've had a lot of laps here. This is also a home track race. It's 15 minutes from my house. So I put pride in running well here. And the car, depending on which way the wind went, since these admins decided to set the wind at craziness, depending on which way it blew, because it changed directions like 4 times in the race, which affected each corner individually. I was able to adapt to it, which way the wind went. And it was really a big wind game, I guess. That's my personal thought. So I wasn't struggling. It was just learning on the fly real quick whenever it would change.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, we saw as the race went on there. Obviously, you had a wild ride, at least in a couple instances, when you ended up wrong way around. So I guess I'll throw out the question here, as we saw it maybe a track that was a little bit struggling to pass at. So I guess my question is how were the driving standards out there? Were drivers being maybe a bit too aggressive for what the track provided?
Oh, I'm not going to name names, but yeah, there were a couple that were driving over their heads. So, but other than that, everybody else was awesome. So everybody up front was awesome at the end. So, um, I don't normally gripe on driving standards because I'm a big topic of that often because I also am aggressive. But today there's definitely more, I guess, less respect on the track, and maybe that was because it's so hard to pass and people could take advantage of it.
More importantly, we saw again when something you don't usually see often here is when the stage breaks ended, drivers came in for 4 tires. Usually, you see sometimes drivers just take 2 tires or try rolling the dice. Were 4 tires really that important around here? Was tire dag like with 4 tires like definitely strong? Because we saw other drivers like Bren Roberts make 2 tires work. So, do you really need 4 tires to be fast around here?
Depends on the length of the run that you had on your tires prior. If you had 10 to 15, stretching it to 20 before that, you can take two and be just as fast as the four tire guys for a 10, 15 lap window. But I mean, we weren't gaming off of 10, 15 lap windows until the end, and I had run a little longer than that on my current tires, so I took four at the end because I didn't want that sharp fall off to end the run. But yeah, you could take two for sure on a short run. That was definitely an option. I just didn't elect to take it because I wanted that security with four.
Fair, fair. One more question. We obviously saw you late on there fighting with Wygen on a late restart. Again, you kind of carved right for the field quickly. You were fighting there late. Kind of takes those last couple laps there because obviously we saw you battling Wygen, and it really allowed Millet to kind of drive away there. And obviously, racers are not just going to settle and let someone else obviously go ahead there and challenge out there. But did you feel like maybe if you could quickly clear Wygen, you could maybe challenge Millet? Were you firmly just saying second was really all I had here, and I was just going to try to get second? What was going through those last couple laps there, those last 10 laps?
I gave Wygant those 5 laps to make him a move. I even offered up my assistance on getting by him if he could get side by side, but we were with two to go. I can't at that point if he's not getting a run now. Like I can't help him, so I had to go and try and make a move. And I was hoping I could clear him and give him one run on the white flag, but I couldn't clear Wygant because you said it before. This place is so hard to pass. It's you just put it on their door and you can't pass. So yeah, I was willing to let Wygant make his move, and I was waiting, and I said I can't wait no more, so I went and still ended up third. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's kind of always like I said, I was saying it early in the broadcast as well. It's always next driver up. If you can't make the move, you gotta sometimes have to make the move in question. Obviously though, obviously Texas again, good race for you. Obviously you have multiple wins so far this season. Obviously it's very strong. Obviously we have the week off next week, and then obviously we go to Talladega and the next round here, and obviously with it being also the opening to the bracket challenge. But we'll hold that thought for a second. We'll just ask, how do you feel about Talladega? Obviously, it's a race where drivers really can shine, even if they had a bad season. So, do you feel like you can know how to draft and drive and get to the front, maybe win Talladega?
oh yeah, I like Talladega more than Daytona because there's so much more freedom to make moves. Um, so yeah, I love Talladega. I love racing the pack races in this next gen car. I feel like I have an advantage with that. But then again, you can only have so much of an advantage at a plate race. It's a wild card for sure. So I'm feeling good, but obviously I could also end up in the stands. So
Yeah. That,
we'll just take it as the race takes it next week or 2 weeks from now.
yeah, it's the ultimate crapshoot race. Anything can happen. But anyway, if there's anything else you want to add, John Hagan, the floor is yours. You want to thank any family, friends, or what have you? Take it away.
Shout out all of you guys at ABN, guys and gals who work hard to put together a broadcast for this great series, ARCS A Squared. Shout out Beatron Racing. I know I ruined a couple of their races today, which sucks because of my lack of talent. So I apologize. You'll be receiving pushes. But shout out CBR for being wonderful to work with during the week together as a group effort to get better. Shout out John Smeal for painting up cars. Shout out Mega. Oh, I almost said his Discord username. Jacob Shagel, who's Mega Man XCM on Discord if you need a paint painted up. They're both wonderful. Shout out my beautiful girlfriend for sticking by me and watching while I race, and shout out admins at ARCS Squared.
Fair indeed. Well, obviously we have the week off next week, but hopefully, again, you already have 2 wins. You're looking poised to make the play. You already made the playoffs. You can lock you in the playoffs right now as long as you continue the season. But yeah, hopefully, maybe you can be the first driver with 3 wins, maybe at Talladega next week. So you take care, take joy the week off, and hopefully you come back strong in Talladega in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.
All right, and that was our 3rd place finisher, John Hagan. So that will move us on nicely to our 2nd place driver. We'll work our way up from 3 to 1. Pacey Wygant. We'll bring him in now and hear his thoughts. Pacey, this is Kevin in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, races start at the beginning, so we'll start off with your thoughts at the beginning of this race. So, again, we kind of saw as the race went on, drivers were talking about the track with the wind kind of shifting in different directions, really affecting it. So, again, take us in your thoughts how the track was out there today. Was it a track that was strong? Was it a track that was weak? What was your thoughts on the track conditions and how you felt out there with them ever adjusting?
I mean, it's Texas. It's always going to feel pretty bad. So, with this new version of Texas, that is, it doesn't really matter if it's cold track or if it's a hot track. It does not feel good. But that's my opinion. I don't like Texas in any way.
Mm-hmm. Fair. I mean, if someone that didn't like Texas, you were really running up front for a lot of the day here. Moving further on, again, I said the question to Hagan, and we saw you have a lot of wild rides as well. You saw that incident with Breo, a few other things. So kind of take us through your thoughts on driving standards as well around this track, because it seemed like a lot of drivers were complaining out here today about it being maybe a bit of a chaotic event here.
I mean, it's not really any more chaotic than a normal league race at Texas. I mean, the cars get wicked tight, so you're never really gonna have that truly long run pace, especially with. I mean, we're not all. None of us are pros here. We're all amateur racers, so this track produces good racing for short runs, first 5-10 laps, but after that, it's not really all that great. It's just single file,
Yeah,
saving tire and all that stuff. So it's just who can save tire the best, and then who can make the outside lane work the best. So
definitely
pretty much how this works.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there at the very least. How Texas is. Moving further down here, obviously we saw like you said, drivers are struggling to pass here a little bit here at the very least. Take us through. I guess with that late restart there, we saw you with 9 to go. You were behind Lilac's ear, and I was talking on the broadcast. There was that point where you were worried that you were going to get stacked up if Zier did not get going, and then you made a aggressive but beautiful move to send it 3 wide in the 1 and end up taking second. It really put yourself in a spot to challenge for the win. So kind of take us to that thought and that restart there and what maybe presented that move, because I don't think other drivers would have been willing to send it 3 wide in the 1 like you did. So what just kind of takes us to that restart and what compelled you to make that move?
I just knew that Zier had stayed out when I think all of us come down and took tires there. So I seen on the restart prior, Zier wasn't exactly getting off the corner or into the corner just because of the old tires, because Texas. So I knew I needed to be aggressive and get the move done as soon as possible, and I got a slight run, and I knew if I didn't take it then, I could have gotten trained on the outside by 4 or 5 cars. So it was really just needing to get around as fast as possible, and the opportunity presented itself, so I took it.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess to kind of add that on point here is we saw you battling for second. You closed out. You're running hot lap to hot lap, and then kind of maybe the Texas curse where it was really hard to pass. And we saw you sit behind Zach Millett for a few laps there. Was it a point maybe we're laying off here, waiting maybe to try to strike something up here, or was it just generally you just hit a wall and there was nothing you really could do to get past?
Yeah. Again, it's just Texas. It's hard to pass if you don't have help, and the help I thought I had ended up trying to pass me, which, I mean, we're racing towards the end of a race. I don't expect everybody to just sit behind me and try to help, but yeah, it's like a wall of air. As soon as you get to somebody, if you can't get right around them with a tire advantage or anything like that, you're probably just going to be stuck there. So I was trying. I tried driving it in deep. I knew I was better in 3 and 4. I was always better in 1 and 2. It was a wall of air, and at that point, there's not really much you can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, one more question. Obviously, we are off next week, as it is Talladega, off week next week, and then we're on the Talladega next week. We've seen you have a very interesting season, to say the least, at the very least, right now. Obviously, you're sitting a little bit further out, 23rd in the standings right now, but obviously only 11 points away from the cut line, easily to make up. But thoughts on Talladega? Obviously, it's a draft track. It's always going to be to and throw. We saw you in the HL Truck Series and the Cup Series have a rocket in that double zero machine. So you think you're going to have a strong chance here to put that double zero in victory lane at Talladega in 2 weeks' time?
Tell you the truth, I'm not very good at the play tracks in this next gen car, so probably won't see me up front very much. I'll probably just ride around in the back. As we've seen from Daytona, I didn't really get to race all that much because coming towards the end of the stage, I got something happened and ended up getting the worst out of it. But I just always seem to get caught up in everybody else's mess at the play tracks in this next gen car. I can't figure it out. So we're trying. We'll try to make a statement there, but it's Talladega at the end of the day.
Yeah, can't say it better yourself. So obviously it is ABN tradition. If anyone want to thank family, friends, sponsors, what have you, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, shout out to y'all up in the booth for broadcasting. Shout out to ARCS and everybody who goes or puts it on in front of the cameras, behind the cameras. Shout out to my teammates at Carolina Beagle. I hope I got that right. I haven't had to say that one yet.
You are correct. You are correct.
And shout out to my fiance. She watches every single race. Smeal's Design for making the wrap. Paparazzi, and my, I guess you could say, sister-in-law type thing. She's the one that sponsors the car for me. So yeah, I think that about does it though.
Alrighty, well, you take care, enjoy the week off, and hopefully maybe we talk to you next week, maybe in Victory Lane. But until then, you have a good rest of your week, and have a good rest of your week.
You too.
All right, and that was our second place finisher, Pacey Wygent. And that will move us on to the person of the hour, the winner of this race, Zach Millet, who led from light, basically had a dominating weekend. We'll hear his thoughts now. Zach, this is Kevin in the ABM booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Kevin, got a copy.
All righty. Well, again, you had a very, very strong weekend. Obviously, you had a blistering pole lap, and you came in here late. You were like, all right, I'm filling in, and you came. So I guess the first question is obviously a two-parter. A, how does it feel kind of being a super sub in this situation, coming into a series you don't know and coming in and then setting a blistering pole lap around Texas?
Man, I don't know. It felt pretty good. I didn't expect that lap to be that good. It kind of felt like a 5. I don't know if I just got a better pace through 3 and 4, but yeah, it was a surprise to me. I came around, saw the 2, and I was pretty happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, big thanks to Dustin Painter and Michael LaJoy and Next Gen Racing tonight for getting me in as a late sub, and it was fun racing with these guys tonight.
Hey, you brought that. You got the team its first victory in A squared as a team in this Cup Series, so definitely something to be proud of. But moving further on down the line here, obviously, again, Texas, strong track. Obviously, we've seen drivers complain about the wind, and we've seen drivers complain about being hard to pass, but you were up at the front the whole day, and you were managing the lane. So I guess, again, take us through what the track conditions were. What were your thoughts of how the track was tonight?
I don't know. It seemed like, to me anyway, it was getting worse towards the end of the race. It was getting a little slicker. I think it probably had a lot to do with the restarts. Every time we had to restart and dove it into the turn 1, and we were 2-3 wide every time, it was pretty sketchy. I think that last restart, I had a 4-wheel slide coming off 4 that I honestly didn't even feel through the wheel until it started kind of yanking right and the wall was coming. So I was pretty nervous there. But yeah, I don't know. The Bucky's Camaro was pretty good all night. It was predictable at least. I didn't want to get cycled back on a pit stop or at a stage or anything, get caught in the dirty air. The dirty air was that was key tonight. It was tough when you're right up behind somebody. It was hard to keep the nose down.
Moving further on down the list of questions here, it comes to a point where obviously you get stage 1, stage 2, and then we've come into a point where we saw a late caution, and you were still hanging out front, and then obviously you and Featherplay were staying out. Pierce came in, what point were you thinking you were going to come in? Because obviously our caution saved you. Were you coming in maybe the next couple laps and you got saved, or were you going until the fuel tank ran out?
I was probably going to go right until the bitter end. If Fetter plays pit, 2, 3 laps after Pierce did, I might have come in maybe a lap or two after that just to, not get ran past on the fresh tires. But I felt like our pace was pretty good towards the end of that stint, with the cautions. What we have, 3, 4 cautions before that. So the tires actually didn't, they didn't wear too bad that run. So I wanted to stay out. I was more in fear of a caution coming out like it did and, getting trapped a lap down.
Mm-hmm. And then take us to those last couple laps here. So on the last restart, you kind of pulled off there as Roberts kind of got balled down along with Zier, and you drove away. And then you saw Wygen and Hagen slowly filling up your rears more and more. So take us to those last couple laps there. Were you a bit fearful you were going to get past, or did you feel, and when in turn, when you saw Hagen and Wygen battling out, what were your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, I noticed them getting a little bigger in the mirror towards the end there. I was trying to just ignore it, hit my marks. I know the draft is huge here. It's every time I was behind somebody, I could kind of play around in the draft a little bit. I could save gas, or I could pull right back up to their bumper, no problem. And I knew that they were going to at least get to my bumper, so I had to kind of just stay consistent and hit my marks and try to forget that they were there. And once I saw the 81 go low on the double O, I wanted to pull down and pull him beside him a little bit, give him the pull if I could. And yeah, I just got lucky. It was good timing, and I escaped there at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, you were at a super fill role here, so not 100%. Obviously, we'll see you next week. Obviously, I asked the same question to Roger Pierce, but he obviously came in and filled in for Seth Wansing this week. So I'll throw out this question here. Obviously, with a win, if you were to get a full-time ride or a full seat, you would be contendable for the playoffs, presumably. So I'll ask this question here instead of asking what your thoughts on Talladega are in 2 weeks' time and whatnot. If an opportunity arose to run the full season, would you take it?
Actually, yeah, the timing is perfect. I ran another league on Sunday nights that ended about 2 weeks ago. So my Sunday nights are open, and I think I've got a ride already. But
Ooh.
yeah, we'll see. It's in the works, and we'll see how it's working out. And I don't know. There's a lot of good guys in this league, man. I'd like to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to hear. Always great to hear people positively say things about the league. Obviously, though, whatever team is working to deal with you behind the scenes is definitely going to be getting a steal of a driver. So if we do see you in 2 weeks' time in Talladega, I'll just throw out this question. If you can get a ride and we see you at Talladega, thoughts on Talladega real fast?
Well, any super speedway for me is just absolute survival.
Mm-hmm.
That I've got some terrible luck at super speedways, man. If I try to stay ahead of the wreck, then I'm the wreck. If I try to, lean back and let the wreck happen, I'm still the wreck. So I don't know. At least we got a fast repair, we can play with that. And yeah, just pure survival, man.
All right. Well, it is ABN tradition. If there's anyone you want to thank, family, friends, sponsors, what have you, the floor is yours. Take it away, Zach.
Yeah, I want to thank you, Kevin, and ABN Esports 2 on Twitch for the broadcast. You guys look like you do an awesome job. I'm looking forward to going back and watching it. Big thanks again to Next Gen Racing, Dustin Painter, Mike LaJoy, those guys for doing everything they did to kind of scare me in. Big thanks to Mr. Kent too, man. I messaged him probably about 50 times, so big thanks to him. He was always getting back to me, and he does a hell of a job, man. Big thanks to HBR TV, Track Bar Media, HBRShops.com, Castle Products, and shoot me a follow over on Twitch and YouTube at That Is For Guy.
All righty. Well, that is great to hear all that. Obviously, if we do see you get a full-time ride, hopefully we'll be seeing you in 2 weeks' time at Talladega. But if not, maybe we'll see you take another campaign around here. But enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the next weekend. Enjoy the holiday. And hopefully maybe we'll see you again in the near future.
I hope so, brother. Thank you.
All right, and that was our race winner, Zach Millett, finishing us off. So that will be our interviews done here tonight. And now we will take a look at the final results here. Just give me a second here to get this all going. Turn that off, and we will now pull up the race results here. If they end up showing, there they go. And now we'll move up to the front. Again, every week we seem to have a slight issue with this, but we're getting it better. Anyway, here's our race results. Zach Millett will take the race win here. If he can get that ride and find a full-time seat, he could be someone to watch out for when the playoffs roll around. He will also, presumably, join the playoff list. Moving on down the list, we got Pacey White and Sean Hagen. They will round out the podium. Moving further down the field here, just give me a second here. There we go. We'll have Brandon Featherplace and Bren Roberts rounding out the top 5. Moving further down, We got Tom Sears in 6th, Daniel Michelle in 7th, Patrick Oberstadt in 8th, Stefan Oberstadt 9th, Tommy Withers round out the top 10. Edward Marshall, Roger Pierce will get a nice good recovery drive and get it up to 12th. He was quite thrilled with that recovery drive. Obviously leaving a bit on the table, but so far 2 for 2 fill-in rolls. End up getting a podium and a 12th. Not much to really sneeze at. Richie Catania 13th. Austin Mongol had an up and down day. Will get 14th. And Mark DeLayla around the top 15. Lilac Sears' strategy did not work out in the end. Brent Roberts did. He finished 5th. Lilac Sears not so as lucky. She will get 16th for her troubles and will finish still on the lead lap at least. Ross Baxter will get 17th, Ryan Gomes 18th, Tristan Catania 19th, and Kevin Feemster will round out the top 20 as he moves further down the field here. If it ever decides to go down. Oh, wait. Come on. Oh, good old SDK. Anyway, user errors aside, Josh Gaiman will get 21st. He'll be the first car one down. Got bad strategy, just having a rough time so far this season. Hope we can turn that back after this week break and get back on the right gears. Riley Gomes in the fill and right for Gear Cats will get 22nd, also be in the one down crew. Dale Markowski 23rd, Cody Pinnell 24th. Last of the cars that finished running. Actually, Michael Joy actually ran too. He'd finished 25th. James Kerr 26th. And I think now we're getting to the cars that retired with David Wright 27th, Donald Ray 28th, Michael Lawrence 29th, Jeremy Braille rough day 30th, Brandon Proudfoot another rough day indeed. Defending winner Texas, that Jonathan Adams driver needing a good day will finish 32nd I should say. Louis Peltier Sharp another rough day for 33rd, and Josh Battles will be the last of the cars in 34th position. So rough day all throughout. Some of the strong cars will have to have a good bounce back at Talladega. But that is that for Texas here for the This Is Our Year Texas 200. Obviously, we have the week off next week, as it is Easter weekend, at least throughout the world. So enjoy if you do celebrate it, or at the very least have that time off. Enjoy it with the family, friends, what have you. Enjoy it. And then we'll see you next week, 2 weeks' time on April 7th for Talladega. I know it's WrestleMania weekend, but I'll still be here. We'll see at the very least. And it's going to be a special paint scheme theme. Favorite sports teams. You'll see some favorite sports teams out there on the high banks of Talladega. And remember, it's also the start of the bracket challenge. First round will be that. We'll show you the bracket. And you can also see the bracket on racearcs.com. And you also keep an eye on the socials of ARCS Racing on Twitter. You can find all those links. Well, you can basically follow it to basically in the description here to ABN2 and all that. You follow that, and it'll get the links to ARCS, and you can see the bracket of where drivers will end up being for that playoff challenge, bracket challenge, if you will. That will be over the next 5 weeks from April 7th to May 5th. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how that all plays out. Other than that, though, Champ Car will resume, I believe, this Wednesday. Have to check the calendar to see what date that is. And don't forget, HTL will be starting up very soon indeed. So mark your calendars, keep an eye on ABN1 for HTL action coming up sooner rather than later. But I am Kevin Young, and I am signing off. So thank you for a great broadcast. Thank you for joining us, and have a good rest of your evening.